England playing in the white shirts, the blue shorts and the white socks. Sweden in the yellow shirts, the dark shorts and the yellow socks. A place in the semi-finals of Euro 2025 at stake. It's England against Sweden, and it's live on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. As Sweden in possession over on the far side, lose the ball to Lucy Bronze, who will play it forward to Lauren James. Again, the expected formation we see England starting with. We'll run you through the full lineups in a moment. As Jess Carter, risky ball through the legs in the end of Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd. Goes out of play. She was looking for Alex Green, but it goes out of play for a Sweden throw. A little bit nervy there from England's Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, not the ideal start, but you can see that Sweden obviously looking to press really, really high and force England into errors.
So Sweden in possession, playing it forward just too much on that for Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd, and the ball goes out of play for an England throw. So England with Hampton in goal. The back four of Bronze, Williamson, Carter and Greenwood. Ahead of them, it's Stanway and Walsh, with James, Toone and Hemp supporting Russo up top, as Hannah Hampton has the short option there with Jess Carter, but decides to go long instead and will launch the ball over the halfway line. Looking for that run of Alessia Russo. It's met over on that far side by Lucy Bronze, really pushing forward from right back in these early stages, as the very preferred chant by the England fans for Serena Wiegmann makes its first appearance here in this quarter-final here in Zurich, and Sweden's long ball over the top. There's too much on it, and Leah Williamson will allow that to roll out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's just going to be a fascinating start. I think these two teams just kind of teasing each other, understanding where their spaces are, how long they can take on the ball, but Sweden are making England very uncomfortable.
And England have given the ball away. Early chance here for Sweden. It's Kosovare Asllani. Perfect start for Sweden. England behind inside 2 minutes, and it is a problem all of their own making, but it is scored by Sweden's Wonder Woman, Kosovare Asllani. Their experienced captain gets her 50th goal for her country, and what a huge goal this could be. Nightmare start for the Lionesses. Sweden lead by 1-0.
And it's a disastrous start for England, isn't it, really? England have played right into Sweden's hands. Loose passing in the build-up, perhaps the opportunity to play long. The decision probably was the right one, and I'm just surprised that Hannah Hampton didn't stick to the initial decision. But Kosovare Asllani, the experienced player, is so clinical in front of goal, and she's punished England.
Well, at 35 years of age, Asllani, she just keeps breaking records. She's already become the first Swedish player to score in 4 editions of a Women's Euro. She's starting her 22nd Euros game in a row. That continues her record as the only player to make that many starts. And what a start for England, in the worst way possible. But they've won the ball just outside the Sweden penalty area, but the whistle goes from our referee from Spain, Marta Huerta de Aza, and it will be a free kick to Sweden midway through their own half. Well, this is what we said, Karen. Sweden are dangerous. They're unbeaten in their last 15 games. They've got a 100% record here. It's only the second time, in fact, they've won all 3 group games, first since '97. And they have only conceded 1 goal. That was against Germany in their final group stage game, but they recovered to win 4-1. Yes, Germany were down to 10 for much of that game, but this is a Sweden side, as they have a throw just inside their own half on this right-hand side, that have only ever won 1 major trophy. That was back in 1984, the first ever Women's Euros. They beat England in a 2-legged final, but it was a very different game back then. 35-minute halves, smaller ball. They want a trophy in the modern era. They've come so close on many occasions, and they've made the perfect start here. They're leading 1-0. Hampton's made an error. Blackstenius, this could be 2-0 Sweden. Really good covering defended by Williamson, and makes the block as well, away from her Arsenal teammate, and it's out for a corner. But England are all over the place at the back here. It's an error from Hannah Hampton, loses possession with a loose touch on the edge of the area, but brilliant defending by the captain Leah Williamson to get back and put Blackstenius off and make that crucial block as Blackstenius looked to roll the ball in.
Deary me, that's not the ideal start, is it? Hannah Hampton really needs to settle down. Jess Carter lifts that pass a little bit as it's dropped in, and she's under pressure immediately, Hannah Hampton. How can she cope with that? There's loads of bodies in the area.
Corner from the far side, Asllani swings it in. Asllani, who has already given Sweden a lead inside 2 minutes. That's cleared away by England, goes out of play for a throw to Sweden over on the far side with 5 minutes gone.
England need to settle. They need to find a way just to kind of ride out this pressure, even if it's just playing in behind a little bit. Drop this Sweden team off, drop that initial line of press on the England back four, and just try to get some control in this game.
Williamson clears away. Russo is brought down there, just inside the England half, and it will be a free kick to England, who already trail here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds in this quarter-final, the defending European champions by a 0-0. As Jess Carter receives that ball from Leah Williamson. Williamson is the reason why it's not 2-0. It was super defending from the England captain. Good ball out to the left-hand side for England to find Lauren Hemp, and now played back to Greenwood. Good ball down the line to Georgia Stanway. She's on the left wing, approaching the byline, has it down by the corner flag, pulls the ball into the area. Walsh is arriving, lays it off to Hemp, who scoops it towards goal. Oh, brilliant save, Jennifer Falk. Tips it onto the bar. Russo picks it up right-hand side of the penalty area. Ball back to Lauren James. James lifts it in, headed away by Sweden. What a start here in Zurich. Greenwood heads it forward now. Toon picks it up edge of the box. Flick forward by Stanway. Won't reach him. England's the width of the bar away, plus the fingertips of Jennifer Falk from levelling things up inside the opening 6 minutes, but Sweden still lead 1-0. Karen Bardsley.
Oh, it's end-to-end, isn't it? Absolutely fascinating save. But Sweden are back in.
Here comes Sweden again. Here's Blackstenius, right-hand side of the penalty area. Pulls the ball across the 6-yard box. Nobody is there. Fridolina Rolfo had made the run, but she was on the penalty spot. What are we watching here? Goodness me, this is like the last 2 minutes, and we're heading to extra time, but it's not. It's the opening 6.5. Sweden lead 1-0. Could have been 2-0 up. Bar Williamson's brilliant block. And then at the other end, England hit the bar with Falk tipping the shot.
It's
on.
like a basketball game, isn't it? They just dunk at one end, dunk at the other. It's full out, you know, two teams just exchanging blows, and really it's a fantastic save from Falk that's kept Sweden 1-0 up.
Well, what a start. As we see a replay of this effort from Lauren Hemp, she just tries to place it over Falk and almost manages to do so. Here comes Sweden down the left-hand side. England looking really open. It's Bronze at the moment out of position, so Walsh goes over to that right-hand side to cover. Interesting this, as Sweden have it back in their own half. She was asked in the press conference, Lucy Bronze, about how much she would try and attack. And she said, you know, well, I'll do whatever Serena Beagley tells me I need to do. But tactically, that is going to be interesting, because at the moment she's pushing quite far forward, and they're being left exposed at right back because Bronze has pushed into the attack and isn't in that defensive back line, as Sweden have a throw midway through the England half on this near side.
Just watch Ralpha. She's kind of creeping on Lucy Bronze's back shoulder. Sweden really pushing numbers forward into the England back line with late runs from Kosovar Islani.
Williamson wins the header just outside the penalty area. 7.5 minutes gone here in Zurich, and England trail to that second minute Sweden goal from Kosovar Asllani, her 50th for her country in this Women's Euros quarter-final. Doesn't tell the half of it though. They've hit the bar through him, and they could have so easily before that been 2-0 down as well. It's been a fast, frenetic, frantic start here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as that ball won't be kept in by Lundqvist, and England have a throw and just a little bit of a chance of respite and to settle Karen Bardsley.
Hardly, I think. You can just see from the shape that Stina Blackstenius is taking quite an advantageous gambling position, trying to make sure that England cannot play out through the likes of Hannah Hampton and switch. They're trying to make the pitch really, really small and get any sort of regains.
I promise you, we will take you through the Sweden lineup in a moment, but you cannot take your eyes off this for 1 second. And listeners, I don't want you to miss anything. The ball comes out for a throw to England midway through their own half. So let's risk it now. Sweden with Falk in goal. The back four of Lundqvist, Bjorn, Eriksson and Andersson. Ahead of them it's Angeldal and Zidiotti, with Ritting, Karnerud, Rolfo and Asllani, who scored that early goal, supporting Blackstenius up front. That goal for Sweden, incidentally, their fastest ever goal at the Women's Euros, and it's also the fastest goal that England have conceded in a Women's Euros game. Not the start that they were wanting, but we've seen them recover from a bad start already at these Euros in terms of the result, losing their opener against France. They have faced adversity already at this tournament. The Lionesses, they are going to once more have to show their mettle and dig in that style that so many of the players have called proper England. And at the moment, again, they're short at the back. As Blackstenius comes down the left-hand side for Sweden, it's pulled back and then lost left midway through the England half, and Lucy Bronze will pick it up and she'll drive forward and she lays it off to Lauren James. It's covered by Magdalena Eriksson, who clears out of play for a throw. Karen Bardsley.
I think England are in a bit of two minds, but as soon as they regain, I think Alessia Russo has obviously dropped in to kind of help support the build-up when they do regain, but she's not high enough to kind of be that attacking outlet, and Lauren Hemp is dropping in as well to kind of stem the bleeding, you know, in terms of Sweden's advanced pressure. So there's no sort of outlet at the minute, so Alessia Russo is going to have to stay really disciplined and be brave to kind of be available as soon as that ball does transition into England's possession.
I really want to keep an eye on this formation as Russo wins a throw midway through the Sweden half. In terms of in and out of possession, because in possession it's almost a three at the back, isn't it? Lucy Bronze is pushing so far up at right wing back. You've got Lauren Hemp left wing back on this left hand side. Let's see where Bronze goes now, because she is a player that even at right back she can push so far forward. You think she's playing right wing back, but whatever is happening at the moment for England, and it does look like a back three when they're in possession, with Bronze really pushing at right wing back, it is leaving them so vulnerable to those Sweden attacks down that left hand side as England concedes the free kick third of the way up from that byline, and it is a free kick to Sweden, who still lead by a goal to nil. Aslani scoring inside 2 minutes. Karen Bardsley.
All I can say is LJ, Lauren James, really needs to get involved in this game. She's been a bit of a bystander these last 10-11 minutes, and yeah, England need to find a way to get her the ball and allow her to create.
Now in possession, as Sweden are now, we can see that the Lionesses, when they're out of possession, it is a back four with Bronze, so that's going to be so key. That positioning of Lucy Bronze, I think, as Sweden come down the left. Really, they've been coming down the right so far in this tournament. Loads of their attacks, 65% of the open play chances that they've created have come down the right-hand side as the ball goes out of play. And Hannah Hampton will prepare to take this goal kick for England to the trailing by a goal to nil. But of course, they've got talent down the left as well. You've got Johanna Resin-Carnerid on the right, the Chelsea player, and Gridlina Rolfer, who's just left Barcelona, but he's such a good player as well.
It's really interesting. Gridlina Rolfer just coming inside a little bit more inverted, giving a bit more stability, allowing Zajotti to come alongside Engdahl as she starts to get a little bit more advantageous up the pitch as well. So lots of fluidity in this Sweden team.
So England 0, Sweden 1 in the early stages at these women's Euros. In this quarter-final here on 5 Live and BBC Sound. You can watch this match as well over on BBC One. Our commentary team of Robin Cowan and Rachel Brown-Finnis. If you'd like to stay with us and listen to our commentary with the pictures as well, you can choose that option on the iPlayer as the ball goes out of play for a Sweden goal kick.
I think it's just elements of frustration, I think, starting to creep in to this England side. Obviously not the start they wanted. Some wayward passes, I think, trying to force it, and they just need to revert back to type, make sure they do the simple things well that have been working for them: the communication, the organisation, the responsibility.
Now the whistle has belatedly gone for a foul here on Hannah Lundqvist. Referee allowed that to go for quite a while. I mean, it is, to be fair, it is late from Lauren Hemp. It's almost on the ground. Bit of a scissor challenge. Oh, I tell you what, that is nasty, seeing the replay from that angle, because Lundqvist's ankle bends underneath her, and we're seeing a shot of Peter Gerhardsson, the Sweden manager, protesting on the touchline. I mean, there's no further punishment for him, but I tell you what, she's pretty lucky there, Lundqvist, because it's one of those horrible ones where her ankle just buckled underneath her, didn't it? But she's up to her feet and seems fine.
No, that's what I mean about that frustration. Obviously not the start that England wanted, and you have to really make sure you don't make any mistakes now to take yourself out of getting back into the game.
So Lauren James has come into the 10, now worked out to Lucy Bronze, right hand side. Falk comes, good punch by the Sweden goalkeeper. Now Lauren Hemp is down, but the whistle has gone for a free kick against Hemp. Jennifer Falk came flying out, got a big fist to the ball, whistle goes, and then she goes down to her knees. She's already made a really good save, Falk, from him. Really brave goalkeeping. She definitely gets both fists on the ball, and then there's a bit of natural contact collision with Lauren Hemp.
It's a good ball. It's a good ball in from Lucy Bronze as well. Really teasing, brave goalkeeping from Falk. You know, gets two hands to it, punches it away. Just a 50-50 challenge for Lauren Hemp as well. So both players going for the ball. Not really necessarily a foul for me, but that's a card-carrying goalkeeper unit as well.
So 14 minutes gone in this Women's Euro quarter-final. It's England 0, Sweden 1. Sweden taking the lead through Kosovare Aslani after just 2 minutes after sloppy play by England at the back. It's Natalie Bjorn, Chelsea under a bit of pressure. And the throw goes the way of Sweden. Russo's absolutely fuming about that. But Sweden with the throw, deep in their own territory. Over on 5 Sports Extra right now. You can continue to listen to commentary of the Open at Royal Port Rush. Rory McIlroy, just to bring you right up to date, has dropped back to level par after 14 holes on day 1. So coverage of that is over on 5 Sports Extra. As Kosovari Asllani, the Sweden goal scorer, plays the ball out of play for a throw to England midway through the Sweden half. There's no need to panic here for England. Plenty of time still to play. As we say, they have faced adversity already in this tournament. They are going to need to dig deep here. It is only 1-0. Could have easily been 2-0, but for brilliant defending by Leah Williamson against Stina Blackstenius. The other end, Hempestina's shot touched onto the bar by Jennifer Falkes. Jess Carter has it. England playing from right to left in this first half. Long ball over the top, looking for the run of Lauren Hemp. It's flicked on towards Alex Greenwood, who brings it down. Plays the ball across, it's blocked away by Lundqvist. It goes out of play for a Sweden throw. Yes, Alex Greenwood, I think, is going to not protest that too much. But interesting again, we're seeing Greenwood really pushing forward from left back, and now she's slightly out of position. And here goes Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd, and it's 3-on-3 again. Really good defending by Jess Carter. That ball will spin away. Rytting-Kaneryd will reach it though, down to the byline. Carter marshalling her away from the penalty area. Rytting-Kaneryd with the white boots and the red backed tips will pick it up once again. Lovely play by Sweden, scoops the ball into the area. Rolfo can't make a clean connection. Asllani has it, edge of the D, lays it off to Jonna Andersson, whose ball in is blocked away by Lauren James, forward by Magdalena Eriksson, straight forward for Hannah Hampton. Karen Bardsley.
And Sweden just look like they're playing with so much freedom, don't they? They're just first ones to the first and second contacts. They look really lively, and to be honest, England look like they're on the back foot.
Long ball over the halfway line from Hannah Hampton, flicked on by Lucy Bronze, who again is really getting forward. That's the positive. That's why they want Lucy Bronze to do that, because she does really provide that heading ability. Flicks it on towards Russo, but it's cleared away by Sweden, and this is where England need to be so on it, because again, Bronze is out of position. Sweden goes central this time, but again, Bronze still hasn't got back into right back. She does now. Picked up by Rolfo, forward by Blackstenius, cleared away by Leah Williamson, clears it off Blackstenius. It's not a definitive clearance by the England captain. Lovely little, okay, right, brilliant, that was brilliant. Lovely little back heel clearance from Leah Williamson off her Arsenal teammate Stina Blackstenius. But Karen Bardsley, let's dig into these defensive tactics, because it's clear what England are trying to do. They're trying to push Lucy Bronze in particular up from fullback. Alex Greenwood getting forward as well, but they're really leaving themselves exposed in the fullback position.
No, they can't really do that if they haven't got secure possession. I think that's the issue, because Fridolina Rolfo on Sweden's left is absolutely causing havoc. Moving infield, moving outfield. She's trying to pin Lucy back, making her either decide that she's going to gamble and go forward, leaving Fridolina Rolfo able to combine with Stina Blackstenius when the ball does change hands. So it's they're playing a bit of cat and mouse here, Sweden.
Here goes Jess Carter out to the left-hand side and Alex Greenwood. It's Sweden who lead by a goal to nil. Asllani scoring inside the opening 2 minutes as Georgia Stanway is dispossessed by Natalie Bjorn. Ball goes out of play for a throw to England. This is one of the vagaries of this stadium, with the 400-metre running track, that you've actually got to run quite a long way before you can get the ball, because just looking for where the ball boys and girls are, and they are standing behind the stanchion, but behind the advertising hoardings, but nobody was really there. So Georgia Stanway had to probably do not shy of 10 metres herself to get that ball back to the technical area. As the ball is back with Hannah Hampton, Sweden still lead 1-0.
But just look at the discipline from Sweden. They're filling all the passing lanes. There's no obvious pass into midfield.
Here goes Lauren James though. England had a 2-on-1 there, and it's earned them a corner. So this is the trade-off. This is the risk you're taking. It's a really attacking strategy from Serena Wiegman and England. And they're doubling up. Lucy Bronze really pushing forward with James out on the right-hand side, has earned England a corner, because for a moment there they were 2v1 against Sweden's defence, and Sweden couldn't recover.
No, exactly. This is what we were talking about, that direct threat, that ball in behind is going to force Sweden back, because they have to respect the likes of Lauren James.
And it is James over on the far side to take this corner as England look for a leveller against Sweden in the Women's Euro quarter-finals. She plays it short, it's to Lauren Hemp, and back to James now. Toons on the corner of the area. James though is going to drive towards the box herself, but she's dispossessed by Asllani, and Asllani gets the second contact as well, and that is roared by the yellow wall of Swedish fans away to our left behind that goal. England throw midway through the Sweden half. England 0, Sweden 1.
Yeah, no, England they look a bit rattled. There's been several mistakes, and I think this is where perhaps they could learn from that game against France in terms of making sure that they communicate with each other, making sure that they get really, really organized behind the ball. Don't let them play through the midfield, force them wide, make it predictable.
Little sloppy from Sweden this time over on the far side, and England have the throw, which Lauren James will take. It was such an uncharacteristically nervy start from England. The first 5 minutes they really weren't getting to grips with it. They might get to grips with it here. Here's Stanway approaching the penalty area out to the left hand side, and Lauren Hemp now chips the ball into the far post, but there's nobody there in a white shirt for England, and the NFF foul call in bright reds for Sweden. Can watch it behind for a Sweden goal kick. So England 0, Sweden 1 here. 20 minutes gone. Let's head back to the Open countdown.
Yeah, thanks, Vicky. 5-way tie at the top of the leaderboard. You can hear the applause behind me here from the crowds as Rory McIlroy walks past on the par 3 16th. The leaders at 4 under par. Among them, England's Matt Fitzpatrick, and tucked in just behind him, world number 1, I should say, Scotty Scheffler at 3 under par. Tyrrell Hatton is on that score as well. A couple behind Lee Westwood and Justin Rose. They're both at 2 under par. Justin Rose with 2 holes left to play. Rory McIlroy has had a bit of a tough run over the past 3 holes. He's dropped 3 shots in 4 holes. He's back to level par. That's 4 shots off the lead now, and he's missed the green on the par 3 16th.
Thanks very much, Kat. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra, and our coverage of day 2 at the Open will start tomorrow at 10 o'clock on 5 Live. Do join us for that. Here goes Aslani, Sweden's goal scorer, out to the right hand side, and Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd of Chelsea plays the ball into the arm of Alex Grimwood, but it was right by her side. A few Sweden players appealing for a penalty, but that would be harsh in the absolute extreme. As Jonna Andersson picks up possession over on the far side, plays it forward. Lucy Bronze will take on her former Barcelona teammate Frelina Rolfo, plays it forward. Too much on it for Russo, but England get a foot in and then have a player down, but Zijotti is also down for Sweden, and the whistle has gone against Lucy Bronze, who's the England player down, and it's gone for a free kick to Sweden on the halfway line. England 0, Sweden 1 midway through the first half. Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, I just want to wind it back a little bit, just in terms of what I'm seeing from England in terms of the build-up. They just look like they're starting to force passes. From the off, they've been trying to force passes, and I think Jess Carter's an interesting one. She looks a bit uncomfortable. You know, is it something where she's not feeling particularly confident with the players around her? But for me, I think there's a key question around Kosovare Aslani's role. She's staying slightly deeper, and when the ball does transition and Sweden are in possession, she's almost forcing Jess Carter to make a decision. Does she go in and press and leave Leah Williamson 1v1 with Blackstenius running in behind? But that doesn't explain sort of what we're seeing in possession. They look unusually uncomfortable, don't they? And it's I think Jess Carter usually is relatively self-assured. We saw moments of it against Wales as well, when she was under pressure very quickly. She looked a bit unconvincing in possession. And, I think it's a key one to look out for. Kira Walsh needs to protect that back line for the next 5 minutes.
So Bronze and Zijotti both up to their feet. I think Bronze can feel pretty hard done by with that foul. It looked as though it was more Zijotti on Bronze than Bronze on her, but it is a Sweden free kick to the edge of the area, bounces off Blackstenius, cleared away by Georgia Stanway. Russo, good hold-up play on the halfway line. She needs support, and here it comes in the form of Lauren James, but Russo's ball is just ahead of James, and it will be shepherded back to Jennifer Falk by Zijotti, and Falk under good pressure from James plays it out to the left-hand side, and Magdalena Eriksson, Jonna Andersson, the 2 former Chelsea players linking up nicely, and Sweden bring it down the left. Chip ball forward, Rolfo headed it over the head of Blackstenius, who comes short, and it's collected by Leah Williamson. But again, we do see this in possession. You've got that back 3 for England. Bronze is playing at right wing back, Hemp's over here at left wing back. Serena Wiegman has made some big tactical calls at this tournament, let alone as a manager. More often than not, she gets them absolutely spot on. But this one, at the moment, you can see the weaknesses. You can also see the strengths. And that is the risk-reward that you have to contemplate as a manager. So far, England 0, Sweden 1, 24 minutes gone.
Sweden are pressing player for player in the midfield. They're making it really difficult to squeeze any sort of passes through into Kira Walsh. They're forcing Jess Carter on the ball, and when you see that, you see the player for player, the option is usually the more forward, advanced option, the likes of Alessia Russo. And that's where, Ella Toon's going to come in. If you hit that target player, that support underneath is going to be really crucial. But yeah, Sweden are making it really difficult for England to get any sort of rhythm.
Hemp loses the ball. The concern for the Lionesses, it's not just tactics, it's also individual performances. Too many loose passes. Here goes Blackstenius into the penalty area. Stina Blackstenius for 2-0. It is too easy for Sweden. She ran, she drove at that England back line, and they backed off. And she slots it past Hannah Hampton. And are Sweden already thinking about avenging that bitter, bitter night in Sheffield 3 years ago? Because they've got the measure of the Lionesses here so far. Sweden leads by 2-0, and England's players have all come, all 11 of them, to have a debrief in the middle of their own half, because they know quite simply this is not good enough from defending European champions.
And it's just a simple through ball into space, and Blackstenius is 1v1 with Jess Carter, and like, we knew that this was going to be a problem. We knew that this was going to be their game plan and how those two matched up to each other. So I do think there will be need to kind of either make some changes from Sarina Wiegman, or it's just simply too easy. It's a good clinical finish from Blackstenius. You have to give credit where it's due, but yeah, one ball in behind, a 1v1, a clinical finish. It's just not at England standard.
Well, we spoke, didn't we, about the fact that Stina Blackstenius and clinical finishing, it is something that follows her around, because too often in those positions she doesn't finish. I remember in the 1-1 draw in the qualifiers at Wembley, she had a 1v1 and she didn't put that away. But she's in really good form at the moment for Sweden. That's her 7th goal in her last 6 games for them.
I mean, Jess Carter's just been done for pace there, really. It's a 1v1, like I said, into space, and Jess Carter just looked like she just could not keep up with the speed.
England coming forward. Here's Lucy Bronze. Can't keep that ball in, almost went over the advertising hoardings at the end as well. And it's a goal kick to Sweden. Right, England, what have you got? This is one of the biggest tests of Sarina Wiegman's time as Lionesses manager. She's never lost to Sweden in her career. She has such an exemplary record at major tournaments. She's looking to reach her 5th major tournament final in a row. But England at the moment are being undone in the last 8 by Sweden, as Kosovari Asllani is pressured by Georgia Stanway, or given away by Asllani. So James has it on the halfway line. Good ball forward. Russo lays it off to Stanway, tries to squeeze it through to Toon. Toon will just latch onto it. Toon blocked away by Magdalena Eriksson, and the ball will spin out to Jonna Andersson on this left-hand side. But that is much, much better from England in terms of movement and connections. But it's Sweden coming forward again and again. England looking so open at the back. Carter steps in. Good challenge. Sweden leading 2-0. Can England get a goal back? 27 minutes gone in this first half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. It's Lauren Hemp, left-hand side, as the England fans inside Stadion Letzigrund here in Zurich raise their voices all around us. Carter has it on the halfway line. Greenwood is an option at left back, and Carter again looking for options, but again, Karen, Sweden's formation and just holding their positions, with Asllani really pushing up now to give that little support to Blackstenius. England just look out of ideas at the moment.
No, essentially out of possession. It's a 4-4-2, isn't it? As you say, Asllani's pushing forward, but Georgia Stanway needs to help out in build-up. You know, Keira Walsh is getting marked out of the game, and they need an extra pass in midfield.
I hate to say it, but this is feeling a lot more like the France opener than it is either the Netherlands or the Wales performances. And as England have the throw on the far side, they're told by the Spanish referee Marta Huerta de Aza to take it again. Sarina Wiegman stands on the edge of her technical area, watching on with her arms folded, contemplating what to do next. I think one of the things in that France game, arguably, Karen, was that there weren't changes quickly enough. There were changes for the next game against the Netherlands. There was bringing on Michelle Adjumang, who had a real impact late on. But will Sarina Wiegman make changes, either tactical or personnel, sooner in this game? Because they are so exposed at the back at the moment. And a 3rd goal for Sweden, I mean, then it really is a mountain to climb, as England have the ball midway through their own half.
Yeah, you know, I just keep replaying that goal back for the 2nd goal for Blackstenius as Sweden takes the ball again.
Yeah, Walsh has lost possession, but that ball forward is too much on it for Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd, and it's all the way through with Hampton.
You know, obviously knowing the pace of Stina Blackstenius and knowing that she's going to be targeting the likes of Jess Carter, you know, what is Leah Williamson's role in that? You know, this is where you have to ask your teammates that you need help, you need support, and you have to be recognizing that earlier, because it was just far too easy. if you don't correct that, as you say, you make those changes, even while you're still on the pitch without substitutions. Like Lee Williamson here just needs to get round a bit more to be a passing option for Jess Carter. And yeah, I just think they need to learn from this very, very quickly.
Well, they could be out. That is the reality. They've got an hour left to save this quarter-final tie. England trail by 2-0. Here goes Toon, little swipe by Sweden, and it's eventually won on this near side by Lundqvist. She got a bit lucky there, missed it first time, won it second time, plays it off Stanway for a Sweden throw, and the strains of ABBA are ringing around the Stadion Lexigren from those yellow-walled Swedish fans away to our left. It's England 0, Sweden 2.
And I actually think Bjorn and Lundqvist on this right-hand side for Sweden need a little bit more credit. I think Bjorn has gotten up to Alessi Russo. She's limited any sort of threat in behind. She looks really, really comfortable, and so does Lundqvist.
England's in possession, Greenwood. Stanway will pick it up on the halfway line, and here is Williamson and Carter now out to the right-hand side, and Lucy Bronze, who has dropped back now in possession to this 4 for now. So let's see if England change it. No, they don't, because it's Bronze now as part of the back three and Greenwood's turn to go forward. So clearly this is the game plan. They're sticking with it for now. Lauren Hemp manages to win the corner.
Again here, I mean, this is the thing I was talking about in terms of Lundqvist in that 1v1 with Lauren Hemp. She just looks like quite comfortable. It looks like she knows how Lauren Hemp is going to play. She doesn't look like she's really reaching. She's quite comfortable in how she's managing that speed in behind.
England need a goal. Yes, it's 2-0. It's not an irreversible scoreline, but as much to stem the momentum and the flood of Swedish confidence and pressure in this game. Can they get it here from this corner? It's Hemp from this near side, swings it in left-footed. It's cleared away by Magdalena Eriksson for Sweden, back in by Jess Carter, but it's aimless from Carter, straight out of play for a Sweden goal kick. And Karen, we have spoken so much in the last year or so about England's inconsistency. They are actually, the Lionesses, looking to win 3 games in a row tonight for the first time since February 2024. And at the moment, we're seeing one of those England performances that sets your teeth on edge, rather than one that, you know, in so many times when we've worked together, gets you off your seat.
Yeah, no, this is an uncomfortable watch, I'm not going to lie. I'm just a bit shocked at the fact that we knew exactly what those threats were going to be, and that they've not been mitigated.
Yes, it's exactly the same as the France game, isn't it? You know, pacey wingers, fullbacks struggling, and again this little formation tweak where England are dropping into 3 at the back in possession. It is leaving them exposed, but still only 2-0. Next goal, such a cliche, but next goal really does feel crucial in this quarter-final. Can England get it? James swings it in. Hemp's header towards goal is tamed. Little bit of hesitation there from Falk, but the ball does bounce through to her with Russo lurking.
And it just feels like, you know, trying to put balls into an area from Lauren James. And she's getting on the ball a little bit more, but she's not really got that fluidity, that creativity that we're used to seeing from her. Sweden are on her like a rash.
Jennifer Falk clears the ball up towards halfway, a little bit short. Georgia Stanway gets underneath it with her head. Then a header by Lundqvist under good pressure from him sends the ball out of play for an England throw.
Yeah, again, it's, I think, one of those where there's a lot of soul searching out there on the pitch at this moment in time.
Alex Greenwood manages to work it through to Ella Toon just outside the Sweden penalty area. Layoff doesn't quite work out though from Georgia Stanway. Picked up by Blackstenius, who has scored Sweden's second on the night. As Lani, their captain, scoring inside the opening 2 minutes. Blackstenius midway through the first half as Fridolina Rolfe's up against Lucy Bronze. Really good goalkeeping from Hannah Hampton. Rolfe had got the better of Bronze, but not the better of Hampton, who came out of that penalty area quickly and cleared away out for a Sweden throw on halfway.
It's such a conundrum, isn't it? Because you've got this threat of Blackstenius and then Rolfe obviously threatening in behind, which drops off the back line, which Hannah Hampton needs a bit more presence to keep them a bit higher, because it has to be an outlet as well. So it is really just cat and mouse all over the pitch. It's fascinating.
So England's in possession. England, who trail here with 10 minutes to go until half time by 2-0. England, who have only avoided defeat once at the Women's Euros when trailing by 2 or more goals. That's when they fought back to beat Russia in the group stage in 2009. That is what the Lionesses are up against here. This is one of the biggest tests of their careers. And it's the same for Serena Wiedmann as Alessia Russo charges down Natalie Bjorn, who stays strong and plays that ball out for an England throw. Look, we know, Karen, England are good enough on their day to get back into this game. The big question is, can they find some consistency in this final few minutes in the first half and then in the second half as well, as Lucy Bronze plays it out to the right-hand side. Ball is swung into the penalty area. Hemp's making the run, but again, it's just those connections, and confidence can be such a funny thing, can't it? As Hemp does really well to keep it in, but it's picked up by Sweden, chopped in field. You know, the Lionesses that we saw against the Netherlands and Wales, where everything was coming off, it's just all slipping away from them at the moment. But there is still time. As Lauren Hemp picks it up on this left-hand side. James is in the centre. Hemp chips the ball in. Falk wasn't sure. It's headed away by Sweden. Helped on out of the penalty area. Lovely touch by Kosovari Asllani to bring that ball under her spell. Johanna Rettin-Kaneryd plays it forward now to Philippa Angeldal, who looks for the run of Stina Blackstenius. She's up against Carter again, and Blackstenius won't this time get the better of Carter. It's really, really good strength and reading of the game there from Jess Carter. But again, Karen, that is such fine margins that I would say, on balance, Blackstenius is going to fancy herself in more of those one-on-ones with Carter.
No, exactly.
Than not.
They'll be bolstered by that. They'll see that she keeps getting in and she gets getting joy. But yeah, Jess Carter dealt well with that.
Here goes Lauren James. Ella Toon tried to slide it through to Alessia Russo, blocked away, comes back to Toon, now to Hemp on this left-hand side. England 0, Sweden 2, 36 minutes gone in the first half as Hemp is brought down. Free kick to England, good position this, just about level with the left-hand side of the penalty area and bisecting the touchline on this left-hand side and that left-hand edge of the 18-yard box. Blocked away by Lundqvist. And I'll tell you what, she just raised her elbow a little bit there. There's nothing too malicious in it, Lundqvist, but, you know, you're taking a little bit of a risk just shielding the ball like that.
No, she knows exactly what she's doing. She's getting herself between, you know, Lauren Hemp and the ball, and it's a physical team. You know, Sweden are, I think this is illustrative of their approach, really. You know, they've been first to everything. Their distances look closer, so there's more passing options. I think England, in comparison, look like there's massive distances in the midfield. Kira Walsh looks really isolated. I think Georgia Stanway and Ella Toon need to do a bit more to get on the ball. They're trying to occupy the back line and keep pressing them back, but we need to have another option in midfield.
So Lauren Hemp's still down, receiving treatment. Lauren James has just took it upon herself to go into the backpack of one of the medical staff, treating Lauren Hemp to try and get a drink. So let's head back to the Open, Cat Downs.
Yeah, it's been a blustery day and darkness just beginning to fall over the grey skies here at Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland. A five-way tie at the top of the leaderboard. Jakob Skov Olesen, the young Dane, Li Hao Tong of China, England's Matt Fitzpatrick, South African Christian Bezuidenhout and American Harris English, all at 4 under par. Just standing here on the 17th, watching a touch of magic from Rory McIlroy. His driver has been misbehaving once again. He missed the fairway to the left in deep rough. He's managed to gouge it out and put it within 10 feet of the pin. If this drops, it'll be a birdie that will see him fall back into the red figures at 1 under par. 3 shots off the lead. It's going to need some McIlroy magic to get things going down 17 and 18. Scotty Scheffler, the world number 1, is tucked behind the leaders, 1 back at 3 under par, as is England's Tyrrell Hatton, while Justin Rose at 2 under par is 2 shots off the lead.
Thanks very much, Kat. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra. So Hemp is up to her feet, but she's had treatment, so she temporarily has to go off the pitch. Wiegmann's had a long conversation with Jess Carter as Alex Greenwood swings his free kick in left-footed. Sweden just about gets something on it. Lauren James then tries to place it from the edge of the D. Bit of pinball in the penalty area. Sweden managed to clear it out of the box. Greenwood plays it forward. Toon won't latch onto it, and it's cleared away by Sweden for an England throw deep in Sweden territory. Lauren Hemp now back on the field. 6 minutes to go until half-time. England 0, Sweden 2. How they need a goal, the Lionesses, before half-time. Here goes Kira Walsh, plays it forward to Ella Toon, left-hand side of the area, down to the byline. Lauren Hemp cuts it back, but can't find a white shirt. It's all of those balls as Sweden clear away, that against the Netherlands, against Wales, it just would have been picked up by an England player and popped into the bottom or the top corner or straight down the middle. And every single time it just feels like, amongst other things, that final pass just won't come off.
No, you're absolutely right. The final action, it's just not, England just aren't getting the rub of the green. I think they're forcing their passes, they're forcing their decision making. It's just not the creative, fluid England that we're used to.
But they are persisting. They are digging in here outside the Sweden penalty area as Alessia Russo wins the throw, again deep in Sweden territory. Can they find a way to get back into this game as Alex Greenwood throws the ball to Georgia Stanway? Down to the byline she goes, pulls the ball across, cleared away by Natalie Bjorn on the edge of her own 6-yard box. Sweden really deep at the moment defending, as Ritten Kaneryd comes back to help out, and again it's another England throw deep in Sweden territory.
Interestingly though, Leah Williamson and Jess Carter have swapped sides as well.
As Russo whips the ball across the 6-yard box, Bronze can't latch onto it. It was a fierce delivery from Russo, and she won't keep it in on the far side either, Bronze, Sweden throw. But yeah, good spot, Karen. So Leah Williamson is now playing at left centre half. Jess Carter is now playing at right centre half. They're in the back three at the moment because Bronze is pushing forward, but that is the switch, whether it's the 3 or 4. And that must be, we said Wiegman was having a long conversation with Jess Carter, so that's the first little tactical tweak that Serena Wiegman has made.
It doesn't matter though, because Stina Blackstenius immediately went back to Jess Carter's side, so that's clearly the tactic from Sweden as well.
Well, bigger questions then for Serena Wiegman at half-time as the ball goes out of play for an England throw. And I'm sure England fans listen to us on 5 Live and BBC Sound, or watching on BBC One with our commentary. You can sync up via the iPlayer. This is where you say, does Esme Morgan have enough experience? Does Maya Letitia have enough experience? Does Wiegman trust these players enough? Is that the sort of length that England are going to need to go to avoid crashing out in the quarterfinals here, as Sweden try and pick the ball up on the left-hand side? Kira Walsh is under real pressure here, and eventually the free kick goes the way of Kira Walsh. Julia Zijossi putting on real pressure there, but England get the decision. Yeah,
no, I'm genuinely concerned a little bit about what we're seeing from this back line. Hannah Hampton needs to be higher. She needs to be more decisive in the decision making. Not 50-50. Was Kira Walsh going to be the player that went to it? Was it going to be Hannah Hampton? Communication needs to be better.
Sweden really pressing as England come forward. They have enjoyed a decent amount of territory in possession, England, in the last 10 minutes or so, but still really only that one key save from Jennifer Falk. It was a great one as well, tipping an effort from Hemp onto the bar. Sweden leading by 2-0. 3.5 minutes to go plus added time in this first half. There is still plenty of time, but England need to get a grip performance-wise, as out to that left-hand side goes the Sweden clearance. They can't make any headway at the moment, Sweden, but again it's that countering threat of Stina Blackstenius. Haven't played on the counter since going 2-0 up. They're being forced back by England as they win a free kick midway through their own half, Sweden. But if they have to play on the counter, Sweden, I mean, that will play to their strengths as well.
Yeah, no, it certainly would. Again, Sweden just have so many threats. They can play through the midfield, they can play on the counter, they can play in behind for Blackstenius, and with that versatility, you can see why England are struggling to quell that Swedish attack.
So Jennifer Falk, the Sweden goalkeeper, sends the ball over the halfway line. It's cleared away by Lucy Bronze, nodded forwards by Jonna Andersson for Sweden, but the move breaks down and Williamson has it, sent it out to Alex Greenwood on this left-hand side. England working hard. Here's Lauren Hemp. Stanway's made a good run, but they've just got no time really to pick the passes. Good strength by Lundqvist. And Sweden coming forward with angle down now. Aslani and Ritten Kaneryd. Blackstenius in the centre. Ritten Kaneryd's early delivery blocked away by Alex Greenwood. Ritten Kaneryd has it again. Hemp coming back to defend, and that helps because then that's 2-on-1. Loose pass from Ritten Kaneryd, and it can be cleared away by England. Then Russo is absolutely bundled over. Referee isn't going to let that go. But she delayed over the whistle. Karen Barsley and I were thinking, goodness me, what does Alessia Russo have to do there to get a free kick? But eventually she does get one midway through the England half, and England still trail by 2-0.
That's a rugby challenge, and Serena Wiegman trots out to the edge of the technical area.
Long ball over the top, just too much on it for Latoon, and it's through with Falk.
There's lots of messages, looks like. She's having a conversation quick with Lauren Hemp. Interestingly though, I think when England are in possession, it looks like they're just really trying to kind of force play down that right hand side, but the space is actually on England's left. So can Lauren Hemp get a bit more wide, get to the touchline and look to play in that space? They're continually forcing it.
Well, they've got to find something here, England, because at the moment they cannot lay a glove on Sweden, as they have the ball at the back. And with that boxing reference, do join us on Saturday night for live commentary of Alexander Usyk against Britain's Daniel Dubois for the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World. Our coverage starts from 7:30 on Saturday night after our Open coverage finishes, and day 2 of the Open will be on 5 Live from 10 o'clock tomorrow. You can listen to the closing stages of today right now over on 5 Sports Extra. Here at the Women's Euros quarter-final England 0, Sweden 2, but Hemp's won the ball just outside the penalty area from Angeldal, chips the cross in. Again, it's the yellow shirt that meets it first, the silver boots rather, of Fiona Anderson. Angeldal then chest down that ball forward and plays it infield for Lina Rolfö. Will just move so gracefully into the centre of the park and then roll the ball out to the left-hand side. But in terms of the Sweden game plan, it could not have gone much better as we approach added time at the end of this first half. Good anticipation from Lucy Bron. She will win a free kick there, third of the way inside the Sweden half on the right-hand side. England 0, Sweden 2 in the Women's Euros quarter-finals here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
And again, you can see Ella Toon dropping in a little bit more to try to have that extra pass and build up, but the space is out on this left-hand side. I think Alex Greenwood needs to get involved and build up a lot more.
And exactly is what she's doing now, Greenwood. Infield now to Lauren Hemp. Greenwood will receive it once more on this left-hand side. Nice ball forward to Ella Toon. Down to the byline she goes. Can she pick out a teammate again? No, Sweden make the block. That's good Sweden defending. The referee's fallen over. And she was taken out by Georgia Stanway there. Stanway giving the referee a real glare as she gets back up to her feet and adjusts her laces as well. But it's forward from Rissin Cunnerid. England need to stay switched on at the back here. Here's Rolfö. She's glided past Williamson. It's Fridolina Rolfö to make it 3-0 to Sweden. Brilliant save, Hannah Hampton. Beats it behind for a Sweden corner. England rocking once again, and Hannah Hampton comes to their rescue and keeps it at 2-0. And how crucial could that save be when it comes to the overall context of this quarter-final?
But it's just too easy. Fridolina Rolfö is just running the show. She's getting in between the lines. She's not got any pressure on. She's turning, she's facing up, she's running at the England defence, and they're dropping off. And the goal just opens up for Rolfö. Really, she should have done better, but Hannah Hampton produces a fantastic save.
This will be the final action of the half. We've had 1 minute of added time added, and it's already been played. So, can England hold firm and keep the deficit at 2-0? Jonna Andersson swings it in. It's flicked on by Sweden, headed towards goal again, and Lucy Bronze will shepherd it behind. Goes out for an England goal kick. There will be no time to take it. Well, this is a big, big test for the Lionesses here, as the referee does blow the whistle for half-time. If they're not to avoid crashing out in the last 8, they need a proper English performance in the second half and then some. Tactical changes, individual battles and performances, everything's on the table, because if they don't find something here, England, they're going out with a whimper, the defending European champions. It's Sweden who lead at half-time by 2-0. Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, it was just a disappointing first half performance. I think, listen, England gifted 2 goals early on, didn't they? And they really struggled to kind of get back into this game. And Sweden are a really well-organised, disciplined team that just know how to make it really hard to play through, play in behind. They're managing England really, really well. I don't think England are adapting well enough in play. There's so much space down this left-hand side. They're not utilising it. They need an extra pass in midfield. They're forcing play down this right-hand side, trying to get Lauren James on. But Sweden know. Sweden know exactly what England's strengths are, and they're not having any of it. And I just think Serena's got some big decisions to make at half-time. Big decisions, a big half-time team talk coming up. One of the biggest of her career, one of the biggest of these England players' career, because at half-time, it's England 0, Sweden 2 in the Women's Euro quarter-finals.
And former England captain Steph Houghton back with us at half-time, with England trailing Sweden. And Steph, at times, well, for quite a lot of that first half, it was difficult to watch. England, they look rattled defensively as well. If we focus in on that left-hand side, Jess Carter shown those vulnerabilities that we saw against France in the opening loss.
Yeah, I think it's a surprise for all of us. I think in terms of what Sweden have done, they've been very efficient, they've been physical, and you know what, they've looked really, really composed. I think especially when England are pressing, they're able to play their way out and play through midfield. And I think defensively we've got a lot to work on to stop them playing, and that ball behind the back four has been a massive problem. I think, of course, the first goal's a mistake and a great finish from Aslani, but the second goal is preventable. And I think this is something that we've seen in the France game, was that press from the front didn't really work and allowed gaps to open up between units but also behind, and we haven't really dealt with it well. But full credit to Sweden, they've really worked on this game plan, and it's been a great 45 minutes for them, and we can only get better.
Is there frustration, Steph, that there looks like so many of the same threats from France. You know, those pacey wingers, the counter-attacks, those balls through the middle, slicing England open, and yet it doesn't look as though the Lionesses have learned how to handle that.
It's frustrating. I think you can see from the performances that we're trying to make things happen, and we've tried up the tempo, we've tried to get bodies forward, but sometimes you need a little bit more of a calm mind. You need that mentality to know that you really believe in the process, that the way that we play, and although we need to really get back to basics. I think it's not about anybody being a hero, it's about being a team, and we've shown that over the last few group games, is that as a team we are strong. So there's definitely going to be a big half-time team talk, whether that's from Serena or the girls themselves, because there's too much quality on this team to not compete with Sweden.
And that's exactly what Sweden were priding themselves on, Karen, was being a team.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've been so together. I said in the commentary, they're so well organized. You know, they don't look like they have a standout superstar in terms of ego. They're all like pulling their own weight. The way they move, the way they create the overloads, you know, you could see Engeldahl pulling out. You could see Zajati just kind of happily doing her role in midfield, making it difficult. But I think, Steph, for me, I've got a question for you in terms of like Jess Carter and Leah, obviously, you know, covering each other. Like, how are you dealing with that pace in behind? Surely that conversation would have been had. You know, if that situation, I find myself 1v1, needed to get round a bit more, but Lucy's in advance. Like, what's going through your head as a centre back?
I think the thing is, I think we've touched on it, that they keep doing the same ball in behind the back four, KB, and sometimes you have to just be like, I need to maybe give myself another yard, and that has to be respectful to the players that you're playing against. I know that we want to be aggressive, we want to be high press, but ultimately there's so many faults with our press at this moment in time that we have to maybe kind of give up a bit of space, and that might be to stop that run from Blackstenius. But I think KB, especially for that second goal with Blackstenius, I think Leah has to come across. I know that Jess Carter gets herself in a bad position, she gets beat for pace, but ultimately you've got to go towards the ball, you've got to try and not only just stop the cutback, but you've got to stop the shots on goal. And I think we were too worried about the cutback rather than actually helping our mates. So I think that partnership needs to be really now going into the second half. It needs to be spot on to deal with the long balls, but also Blackstenius herself.
So Steph, Karen, Vicky back with us shortly. England trailing by 2-0 against Sweden at half-time. So the defending champions 45 minutes away from exiting the Women's Euros. And get this for a stat, Sweden unbeaten in their last 17 matches in this competition, in which they have scored first. Coming up, we're going to check in at Portrush after round one of the Open. Steve Bunce is going to be here as well to give us all the details from today's press conference ahead of Usyk against Dubois 2 on Saturday. That's all after the latest news on 5 Live with Nick Hatfield.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Good evening. Police say they're dealing with a major incident after a bus carrying school pupils crashed on a rural road in Exmoor. Between 60 and 70 people were travelling on the bus when it came off the road. Some casualties have been taken to hospital, and parents of the pupils from Minehead Middle School have been asked to go to the school. Rachel Gilmore is the local MP.
The site of this accident is literally on the top of Exmoor. It's a difficult place to get to. And I don't want to use cliches like my heart goes out to you. But it's just unimaginable. You wave your children off on an end-of-term school trip and then this happens.
It's been revealed the identities of more than 100 British officials, including members of the Special Forces and MI6, were included in a major data leak. Last week it emerged the data of nearly 19,000 Afghans was also mistakenly leaked. The MP Diane Abbott has been suspended by the Labour Party again after saying she doesn't regret comments she made about racism in 2023. There'll now be an investigation by Labour. The Conservatives say plans to lower the voting age to 16 are hopelessly confused. The government wants to change the law in time for the next general election and says it's about giving young people a voice. And the White House says President Trump has been diagnosed with a common and benign vein condition called chronic venous insufficiency. Mr. Trump was examined by a doctor after noticing swelling in his lower legs.
5 Live has the perfect lineup of podcasts to accompany the Euros.
Get all the latest analysis, interviews and debate from Switzerland in the Football Daily podcast.
Hello, I'm Maisie Adam.
And I am Susie Ruffle.
And together we host the women's football podcast Big Kick Energy.
The award-winning.
Oh yes, award-winning. Yes, very much so.
And join Lionesses Ella Toon and Alessia Russo in the Toonie and Russo podcast.
Anna, I'll take you for your Hendy. Benidorm. Oh, yes. I would like that.
Take the Euros with you this summer. Search Women's Euros on the BBC Sounds app.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025
with Katie Smith
On 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Jess Carter är nästan där och kan schabbla bort bollen och Sverige vinner. Stina Blackstenius har en spelare in till Östland in i straffområdet, skjuter och stolpen mål! Sverige tar ledningen i andra minuten, 1-0 i kvartsfinalen mot England. Kosovare Asllani! Och vilken bra boll ifrån Sijotte Olme fram till Stina Blackstenius som springer emellan de båda mittbackarna och hamnar till höger in i straffområdet, får med sig bollen, kan avsluta och försöker och gör mål! Det är 2-0 Stina Blackstenius. Det är nästan copy-paste på målet mot Tyskland. Förutom att nu är det kvartsfinal mot regerande mästarlaget. Sverige leder efter 25 minuter med 2.
Well, that is how it all sounded on Swedish radio, and rightly so. Pretty exciting. Sweden 2, England 0 here in Zurich. Second half commentary to come in English for you here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. You can watch on BBC TV with our commentary as well. We're going to check in on a few other sports before second half gets underway. Let's head to the boxing. We've got a huge night coming up on 5 Live on Saturday as Alexander Usyk takes on Daniel Dubois at Wembley in their rematch. Steve Bunce will be ringside. He's been at today's press conference ahead of the fight, and Buncey, it sounds, even though you were there, like it was maybe a bit understated.
Yeah, we needed that Swedish commentator to liven the thing up. Well, that was on the surface, but what happens sometimes, Katie, at press conferences? It's not the big screaming and shouting and swearing and people pushing and bodyguards getting in the middle. No. Sometimes it's the small things, and Usyk's all about the small things. 2 or 3 words. I have you. I beat you. And then you see Dubois' eyes go, but he's been told to stay calm. There was enough tension, it just wasn't very show busy, if you know what I'm saying.
I hear they say less is more sometimes, but I'm yet to find a suitable explanation. Go on.
With Alexander Usyk, less is more, trust me, less is more.
Right, so a lot being made of this 11-year age gap as well.
Yeah, well, I think this is really false, and I'll explain why. During the last 6 years, Usyk's only fought 7 times. He's conserving his body. During the last 7 years, Daniel Dubois fought 15 times. So he's just getting on with his career. Usyk, since he was about 15 or 16, so we're talking about over 20 years ago, he's travelled with the national Ukrainian team, with a yoga instructor, with portable cold baths so they could recover. He's been all about recovery his entire life. He's never had an injury. So forget the age gap. Trust me, Usyk's been conserving his body carefully and sensibly.
Right, you better go and do that as well, Buncey, ahead of Saturday night. You go and conserve that body. Steve Bunce will be ringside for 5 Live Sport on Saturday night. Usyk against Dubois. It's the number 2. It's the rematch, live from 7:30 with a packed undercard as well ahead of the main event. Ring walks expected around 9 p.m. Right, we're straight back to Portrush. Cat Downs and Graham Storm have been following Rory McIlroy this afternoon.
We have, and there's been an enormous reception for him walking down the 18th here at Royal Portrush in the evening sunshine, just dipping now down below the big grandstand that horseshoes around this final hole, and the big yellow scoreboards away to the right and to the left, either side of this. Huge ovation for McIlroy as he walked in. You'd think he was leading the Open Championship, wouldn't you, Graham Storm?
Yeah, it's amazing to see that fans have all kind of congregated all around the 18th, gone in the stand and made sure that they've seen their home hero come up the 18th hole. He's played lovely the last couple of holes. We've seen a nice birdie on 17 to put him in the red figures and get him his name on that leaderboard, and hopefully he can pop this one on 18.
Yeah, he's had a beautiful approach shot into the last, landed light as a feather on the front edge of the green, but it's a good 20-25 feet or so for a closing birdie for Rory McIlroy. We'll hope to bring you that live here on Radio 5 Live before we hand back to the football. But just a word for the leaderboard at the end of the day's play. Harris English, the American, Hao Tong Lee of China, England's Matt Fitzpatrick, Denmark's Jakob Skov Olesen, and South African Christian Bezuidenhout. It is an international leaderboard, 5 of them at the top at 4 under par.
Yeah, it's great to see, but obviously the one big name on that leaderboard, the world number one, Scotty Scheffler, -3. We got to see that this morning. What a fantastic way to finish his round, finishing with a couple of birdies in the last 3 holes, but he's the danger man.
And from an English point of view as well, Tyrrell Hatton tucked in there as well. He had a good opening day.
Yeah, absolutely. We spoke to Tyrrell during the practice rounds and he seemed in good form, looking forward to the event, and he's posted a good score today, which is great to see.
Just watching Tommy Fleetwood and Justin Thomas, who are playing alongside Rory McIlroy here. Fleetwood at 2 over par, Justin Thomas at 1 over par. Tommy Fleetwood was runner-up to Shane Lowry here 6 years ago when Lowry, the Irishman, won for the island of Ireland here on the return of Open Championship golf to Portrush for the first time in nearly 7 decades. He would have loved a better start to the day, wouldn't he, Fleetwood? He would dearly have hoped to have gone one better than he did 6 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It just hasn't quite been his day. He's been a bit unlucky with a few bad bounces and a bad break on here and there on each and different hole, but you know, he's stuck to his task. He's a couple over. He's not out of this at all.
And here we are then. Let's take a look at Rory McIlroy putting for a birdie on the final hole here at Portrush on the opening day of the 153rd Open. Listen to the crowd cheering the ball as it heads towards the hole. Rory McIlroy leaning backwards, trying to steer the ball. A collective groan from the tens of thousands of people around the 18th green here. It's not going to drop for a birdie for McIlroy. He should be able to tidy up for a closing par. He's just a couple of inches away. He walks up to it now. A tap of the ball and into the hole it goes. He opens with a 1 under par 70 for his opening round. And 1 under par, Graham Storm, looks an awful lot better than the level par we saw him get to on the 14th after 3 drop shots in 4 holes.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be satisfied to get it under par, being 3 under early in the round and then letting it all slip away. If he'd have finished over par, he'd have been devastated, but to shoot under par and only be 3 shots off the lead going into tomorrow, he's got to be looking forward to the second day of the Open Championship.
So Scotty Scheffler is now a dangerous name on the leaderboard. Rory McIlroy, the Masters champion, the Northern Ireland man on home soil, he's up there as well.
Exciting times tomorrow for us, Kat.
Yep, Rory McIlroy teeing off just after 10 o'clock tomorrow, Katie. We'll be able to follow him all the way around here on BBC Radio 5 Live.
But our focus now for the next 45 minutes, a huge 45 minutes, is the defending champions England, who've proven with their backs against the wall they can 5 results here in Switzerland. They trail by 2-0 against Sweden. Second half commentary is with former Lioness Karen Bardsey alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Katie. Just underway here in the second half. No changes for England at half-time, as Jennifer Falk is just told by the referee to hurry up. That new time-wasting rule for goalkeepers, but she eventually does release the ball. So we will take you through the lineups in a moment. In fact, we can do the England lineup now because Russo's been flagged offside. So Hampton in goal for England. The back 4 are Bronze, Williamson, Carter and Greenwood. Stanway and Walsh in the centre, with James, Toon and Hemp supporting Russo up top. Sweden have Falk in goal. The back 4 of Lundqvist, Bjorn, Eriksson and Anderson. Angeldal and Zajotti ahead of them, with Rytting, Carnerid, Rolfer and the 2 goal scorers Aslani playing just behind Stina Blackstenius up front, as Jennifer Falk sends the ball over the halfway line. Alex Greenwood will ease that ball back to Hannah Hampton, who comes out of goal all in green. So Karen Bardsey alongside me. There's so much to pick out here. Firstly, no changes at half-time.
Yeah, I think everyone's a little bit surprised, but I think, Vicky, as you spotted rightly, the entire team came out with literally only about 4 minutes to go before the half was to begin, so that would suggest that there was a mega team talk at halftime. So we'll see if Serena Wiegmann's readying any substitutions or if any real tactical tweaks emerge.
Out to the right-hand side go England, playing in the white shirts, the blue shorts and the white socks. Lucy Bronze plays it forward. 2 Swedish players go in for the ball and almost foul each other, both getting up to their feet. So a bit of a chance for England here. Out to the left-hand side they go. Here is Lauren Hemp. Lucy Bronze is pointing to where she wants it in the area. Hemp still going, blocked away by Angeldal, who will bring it away for Sweden as well. That's good defending from the midfielder, and then real frustration there from Lauren Hemp, has just given her a big, needless shove in the back. And Sweden have a free kick over on the far side. No side at the Women's Euros has ever won from 2 goals behind in a knockout match. England need to make history. They did it 3 years ago when they lifted this trophy, but this is not the performance so far that we expect from defending European champions. We know they can play so much better than this, England. Sweden have been brilliant. They have exploited all of England's weaknesses so far, as Georgia Stanway plays the ball out of play for a Sweden throw on halfway. And I can't help remembering, Karen Barzi, what Kosovari Asllani, who scored Sweden's opener inside 2 minutes in the first half, said in the press conference. Ella Thun had said in her post-match interview with one of the TV broadcasters post the Wales win, where England won 6-1, Sweden have a throw just inside the England half, that Sweden should be scared of England. No surprise, Kosovari Asllani was asked about that in a pre-match presser, and she said, look, we've got a load of respect for England because of what they've achieved. They're a great side. Fear is not in our vocabulary. We have the perfect game plan to win this game, as Sweden win a corner over, oh no, it's not a corner, in fact, positive for England, it's a goal kick. So still just 2-0 to Sweden in the early stages of this second half. But yeah, going back to those Asllani quotes, the perfect game plan to beat England, and so far, that's the way it's playing out.
Yeah, no, I think that first half, England really played into Sweden's hands, and hopefully they will have learned something from that. Try not to really force any needless passes or any sort of errors in risky areas, but they really have to find a foothold in this game.
And they've won the ball over on the left-hand side. It's Hemp, plays it forward to Thun. Flag stays down. Ella Thun to get England back in it. Good save by Jennifer Falk. And now the flag goes up on this near side. It did look tight. VAR would have had a look. Glum face from Thun. She was offside. She'd gone half a yard early. But barring the offside, it's a good move from Thun and a good save from Falk.
No, unfortunately it was offside. I think just held on to the ball just a bit too long in the transition there, but it's good from Ella Thun in terms of that's where the space is. She's getting forward, and those were the runs that were so successful against the likes of the Netherlands and the Welsh as well, but produces an excellent save from Falk in the Sweden goal.
So ball goes out of play over on the far side for a Sweden throw. Serena Wiegman watches on. No changes at half-time, and this is one of the talking points, isn't it, about the tactical changes from Serena Wiegman. Look, as we say, her pedigree at the Euros is unparalleled. Her pedigree at major tournaments, in many ways in the modern era, it is unparalleled. Looking to reach her 5th major tournament final in a row. The first manager to win the Women's Euros with 2 different countries, when she did it with the Netherlands in 2017 and then, of course, with England in 2022. But the tactical changes, do they come too late sometimes in these key moments? Think back to the World Cup final against Spain, which England lost a couple of years ago. Against France in this opener, where they didn't change things early enough. What can they do here? Can Lauren James change things? She's burst through the Sweden half. Lovely ball from Alessia Russo. James, right-hand side of the penalty area. Pulls it across. Hemp is there and heads it wide on the angle. Right across the 6-yard box. England are turning up, though, in this second half, as the England fans here in Zurich turn up the volume around us. Sweden still lead 2-0, but this is more like it from the defending European champions.
Good link-up play from Alessia Russo, dropping in deep, and then that overlapping run from Lauren James is excellent. She carries on, and Alessia Russo puts a lovely ball into space, and Lauren James just a delightful cross into the area, and just, oh, it was so unfortunate that Lauren Hemp couldn't make better contact and put that on target, but that's really well worked from England.
Well, she does absolutely the right thing in terms of trying to head it back across goal, but just doesn't get the angle right. Sweden win a free kick on halfway, but promising signs for England and for Serena Wiegman, who has never lost to Sweden as a manager. She's won all 3 major tournament games with them, but still, the Lionesses have a big mountain to climb. 40 minutes to play, or 6 minutes into the second half, however you want to look at it. And it's England 0, Sweden 2, as Magdalena Eriksson flicks the ball forward. Blackstenius heads it on inside the area. Williamson taking a couple of touches, charged down by Blackstenius. No yellow shirt near enough, so Greenwood will shepherd it back to Hannah Hampton. Lines are open now for our post-match Euros phone-in. 606 with Natalie Pike and Tony Duggan. 08085 909 693. Book your call now. What have you made of this performance so far? What will we be reflecting upon at full time? If it's an England progression to the semi-final, they'll do something that no side has ever done before at the Women's Euros in a knockout game and come from 2 goals behind to win. They have started with promise in this second half, but it's Sweden coming forward now with Fridolina Rolfö, cleared away by Lucy Bronze. Infield now from Ella Thun, who'll stab it to Lauren James, who's having a bit more of an impact in this second half. And just as I say that, it's the commentator's curse. She's heaped it straight out of play.
Yeah, Lauren James has drifted a bit more central. She's really trying to get alongside Ella Toon and just in behind Alessia Russo from time to time, and that narrows up that Sweden fullback on the left-hand side, which gives Lucy Bronze a bit more freedom, but she's just not able to get forward as much. Fridolina Rolfo is really pinning Lucy Bronze back.
Ball by Greenwood over the halfway line, goes the header over the head of Stanway, who's really been anonymous in this game. Again, shades of France, where Walsh and Stanway just completely lost the midfield. Good tenacity there, though, from Stanway. It's a reverse commentator's curse. I think England fans will take that. It's Leah Williamson has it at the back. England 0, Sweden 2. 7 minutes gone in this second half as the Lionesses, the defending European champions, look to avoid crashing out in the quarterfinals. Italy await the winners of this in the semi-finals in Geneva on Tuesday. Will it be England? Will it be Sweden? At the moment, Sweden very much in the driving seat as the ball goes out of play for a Sweden throw midway inside their own half as the Mexican waves ripple around the stadium here in Zurich. Serena Wiegmann now with her dark jacket on comes out to the edge of her technical area, laid off by Blackstenius, who scored Sweden's second in the first half after Asllani had put them ahead inside 2 minutes. At what stage, Karen, should Serena Wiegmann be making changes in this game?
I mean, you like to think that perhaps there should have been some at half-time, you know, to really shore up that England defence, but she's clearly confident in the abilities, and you know, there have been some encouraging signs to the start of the second half.
Header away by Jess Carter, forward by Fridolina Rolfo on the halfway line. Walsh wins the header for England. It's forward now by Philippa Angeldal. Nice layoff by Williamson to Alex Greenwood. Williamson, who kept it at 1-0 in the early stages for England. Brilliant block to deny Stina Blackstenius. Blackstenius it was, though, who eventually did add the second. Lauren Hemp had seen an effort touched into the bar as well by Jennifer Falk, but really, Tanner Hampton, who's been much the busier of the two goalkeepers, she's made some good saves. Her as well that Williamson had to rescue her from, and England's trying to stem this Sweden attack. It's Blackstenius again, very good save by Hannah Hampton. She's really coming into her own in this game, and my word, England needed to do that with Blackstenius bearing down upon her. I'm going to ask you for the keeper's perspective, Karen Barty, but also talk about the clinicalness of Blackstenius. Just saying, she's got on the score sheet already. That was a big chance to potentially, even with just 10 minutes gone in the second half, put this quarter-final beyond England.
But let's talk about Kosovari Asllani as well. She just picks up the ball and she's got absolutely no pressure. Free run at the England defence and the freedom to just slip Blackstenius in consistently. She just splits the two centre-backs as well. So, again, warning signs. Hannah Hampton's come up big there. Slightly higher start position, more advanced, and you know, she's actually come under a lot of criticism, you know, Hannah Hampton, around her shot stopping and things, that she's being tested tonight, and I think she's standing up to that in the second half.
Yeah, she's recovered from that earlier lapse on the edge of the area that almost led to a Sweden goal, rescued by Williamson, but since then she's been solid and she's made some really decent saves, Hannah Hampton. Of course, the focus of scrutiny with Mary Earps, who was set to be number 2 at this tournament. Earps, a shock retirement just before the squad was announced, so she doesn't have that experienced senior goalkeeper backing her up here. She is very much out there doing the job as England's number 1 and taking that on her shoulders. Of course, with support from the backup keepers Morehouse and Keating, but neither of them have made their England debut. And Sweden have a player down. Decision has gone England's way, but our referee Marta Huerta de Aza of Spain is just over to make sure that Kvist and Asllani are okay. It's Asllani who's gone down. The foul was committed on Lauren James, but just as she's trying to wriggle away from that challenge, James has accidentally completely caught Asllani with a bit of a flailing arm. Don't think she knows what she's doing. Is she just trying to ease her body in front of Asllani to get the ball?
I think it was just a 50-50, trying to get advantage across Asllani, and there's just a bit of a flailing hand.
And Asllani is up to her feet, but she is still holding her face. James has won another free kick over on the far side, all getting a bit scrappy. 11 minutes gone in this second half as Asllani, the captain for Sweden, does now jog towards the Sweden penalty area, ready to defend this set piece. James has made a run, but Greenwood's going to roll it in field instead to Ella Toon. I think England going to try here from this set piece. Greenwood whips it in, and Falk will watch it hit the side netting. Poor delivery from a player who, like so many of these Lionesses this evening, we know can do so much better.
Yeah, a bit of a shake of the head there. Unfortunately, the delivery wasn't quite what we were hoping it would be, but like I said, you know, we know that there's quality in this England side. We just need to for me, it looked like the distances in the midfield need to be a little bit closer. The support underneath the ball needs to be a little bit better. Kira Walsh is doing better in terms of trying to get on the ball, but she needs more support.
Ball sent forward by Fridolina Rolfo. The flicks blonde head towards Stina Blackstenius, but Bronze is there and sends it back to Hampton. And Sweden looking comfortable at the moment, Karen, not quite pressing perhaps as intensely as they were, but still keeping in a shape that is tricky for England to try and play their way through.
No, their positioning is very, very good. I think Kosa Varia-Solani is doing a very good job of screening any sort of central passes, and then Zajotti on the opposite side, not allowing anything into Elatun and protecting the back line alongside Philippa Engeldahl.
Lauren Hem picks the ball up on this right-hand side. She's got 3 yellow shirts around her. Sweden playing in the bright yellow shirts, the dark shorts with the lighter blue diagonal slash on the sides, and the yellow socks. They are composed, Sweden. They are in control, Sweden. Can England shake them out of that and stay in these Women's Euros? Here goes Alessia Russo, and now Lauren James, edge of the D. This is where she goes for the curler. It's deflected. Falk won't reach it. England corner.
And that's where you want Lauren James, isn't it? On the ball at the edge of the area. It's good that she gets a shot away. You can see, hopefully that means that she's growing in confidence. She always wants to be involved, but hopefully she can just get a little bit more space to get a shot on target, because England really need to capitalise on these opportunities now.
Got players warming up. They've got a corner here. It's fizzed in, headed away by Aslani. Will be picked up by Kira Walsh on this near side, forced out of the penalty area. Walsh swings it in right-footed, headed away once again, this time by Natalie Bjorn, back in by England. Bjorn's there again. England appealing as they have a player down inside the area. Referee Marta Huerta de Aza unmoved. VAR will have a look. England still with a player down. Ball's out of play for an England throw on the far side. It's Leah Williamson. She's just grimacing and rubbing the bottom of her chin. Oh, there's the question. There is a little bit of contact on Williamson from Bjorn. She heads it onto her own hand. It's very, very close range. The hand is outstretched from the body, but she's mid-air at the time.
For me, it looks like it's more of like a natural position. If you've just gone up for a header and you're on your way down, it doesn't look like it would be a handball for me. Incidental contact from Bjorn into the chin, looks like, or the jaw of Williamson.
Yeah, VAR very happy, and of course because she heads it onto her own arm as well. Those are all the little contexts that are looked at by the referees, and VAR very uninterested in any sort of England penalty there. So, Sweden still leading 2-0. England having the better of the second half so far. Good run by him down to the byline. I don't think she kept that in. Play continues for now, but the referee has spotted that and says that it's a Sweden goal kick. So, change being prepared, but it's not for England. It's for Sweden. Smilla Holmberg is going to come on. Now this is an interesting one. Let's see who comes off here. She's a very attacking fullback, Holmberg, and she's coming on for Hannah Lundqvist. So this is interesting from Peter Johansson, who incidentally, this is his final tournament with Sweden. He's been in charge for nearly 8 years. He's stepping down after these Euros. And he has put on a player who got a first goal for a country in the last match against Germany. Only made a debut in May against Italy, and she is a player that's so quick. He says she's one of our fastest players. So this really, although she's going to come on and play right back where Lundqvist has been playing, it is an attacking change for Sweden again, just trying to utilise that pace, which says, look, they're not settling at 2-0. They want the third goal. They want to kill England off.
It will be interesting to see how she is utilised. I mean, she's had a great season, you know, with Hammarby. As you say, she is very attacking, but I think in terms of her accuracy and precision, she's great from set pieces and her deliveries as well. So it'll be interesting to see if she's used just for athleticism to try to stop that Lauren James run, that creativity. Is she going to essentially mark her player for player? It will be interesting to see.
61 minutes gone. As it stands, England are heading out of the Euros. They have been the better side in the second half, but without really testing Jennifer Falk, although they had a couple of decent chances in the early stages. And still, we await the first changes to be made by Serena Wiegman. Michelle Adjimang is one of the players warming up on the running track in front of us. As time ticks on, Karen, I mean, are you getting nervous about the fact that these changes are not yet being made, or have you seen enough in this second half to think that England can get a goal with the way they're playing with these players on the pitch?
I've seen England do some amazing things in my years, and seeing the likes of Michelle Adjimang warming up is encouraging for me. I just want her to get on the pitch.
Oh, lovely footwork by Rissin Connery. Could have gone down there, but doesn't. Plays it out to the right-hand side. Ball over the top, looking for Aslani. Walsh has tracked that. England almost get themselves in a mess. The Swedish fans are screaming for something behind the goal. It's gone behind for an England goal kick. None of the Swedish players appealed, but did the Swedish fans have a good view of something there? No, I don't think they did. Lucy Bronze's arm is next to her side and her elbow is there. It does hit her hand, but her hand is pretty much touching her hip, so no. Sorry, yellow wall over to our left. Right decision, despite your boos, no penalty. Sweden, but your side still lead by 2-0. 62 minutes gone in this Women's Euro quarter-final.
Just really need a bit more authoritative decision making in those areas, as well as Keir Walsh just slams that clearance straight into Lucy Bronze.
Here goes Alessia Russo though, down the other end for England, looking to get a goal back here. And then try and build on that ball into the area, looking for Hemp. It's cleared away by Anderson, picked up by Walsh. She's got 3 yellow shirts around her, now 4, but she's done well. Feeds James. James out to the left-hand side. Greenwood getting forward now, plays the ball into the area. Russo's in there, it's stabbed away at the back by Natalie Bjorn for Sweden. And picked up by Leah Williamson. They are happy, Sweden, to sit and defend. They have this 2-goal cushion. It's Alessia Russo who scored that gorgeous, beautiful, audacious back heel in the Euro semi-final 3 years ago against Sweden. Feels a long time ago now as Bronze with the header. Fouts dropped it, but Hemp had a little bit too much momentum on that run, and I think the referee, possibly if Falk had lost that, might have blown anyway. Falk just holding a knee, but she's now going to bounce the ball down, and Sweden still lead by 2-0. Karen Bardsley.
But that move was really well dealt with by Sweden. The centre backs and the left back Jona Andersson are incredibly well synchronized with how their back line is dropping and sort of protecting that space in behind. This Sweden team is very good.
A reminder, you can watch this match over on BBC One with our commentary duo of Robin Cowan and Rachel Brown-Finnis. If you'd like to watch with our commentary, just go to the iPlayer and choose the option Listen with 5 Live. Here goes Lauren Hemp. England need a way back into this game. Oh, it's a brilliant ball. Hemp through to Toon. Toon unselfish, but perhaps should have gone for goal. Can't find Georgia Stanway, who'd arrived on the penalty spot, and now Blackstenius is up against Jess Carter, and Carter's got to be really strong here, and Blackstenius has won it. Here she is, Blackstenius, left-hand side of the penalty area. Carter recovering, doing enough to shepherd her away from the box. It's really good defending by Carter, but she really is up against it every time Blackstenius bursts forward. She dealt with that situation well, though, but it is hearts in mouths for England fans as Rolfer cuts in field. To the edge of the area, it's Angeldal. Oh, she brought down by James there. Sweden still have it on the right-hand side, and the shot is curled over the bar on the angle by Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd. Well, let off for England at that end, but oh, so close for Ella Toon in England at the other.
Oh, it was such a lovely through ball for Ella Toon. Great link-up play, and she should have been more selfish, you think, in that moment. Found herself in a really, really great area. You can see what she was trying to do in terms of that pullback, but yeah, the final action just didn't quite come off, and now you can see Serena Wiegman looking to really roll the dice. I can see Esme Morgan getting ready to come on, and the likes of Michelle Adjiman as well.
Jennifer Falk claims the ball ahead of Alessia Russo. I have to say as well, good goalkeeping from Falk to really close that angle down from Toon. Yes, perhaps she could have gone for goal, and I think that probably was in hindsight the right decision. She had Stanway and 3 yellow shirts to aim for, but Falk did really well closing down the angle to force her into that decision. As Hannah Hampton has it just outside her own penalty area, approaching the midway point of the second half. The England substitutes are readying themselves to come on. They're receiving some final instructions. So a quarter of the game they're going to be given to try and turn this around. Ball goes out of play, cleared out by Jonna Anderson. I just want to pick up something, Karen Bardsley, that we mentioned during the Wales game. Michelle Adjiman is going to come on here. They turned to her against France in the final 5 minutes when they really needed a goal. In games where they didn't need a goal, Aggie Beaver-Jones has come on twice. We were talking about her potentially being a bit of a secret weapon. Is this where that theory is really tested for Wiegman, as James has it midway through the Sweden half? Karen's thoughts in a moment, because Lucy Bronze has it on this right-hand side. Up against Jonna Anderson. Bronze with the left-footed delivery. James is in there. Brings it down. Toon tries the curler. It's blocked away. Stanway won't reach it. Sweden clear away with Zijotti. They're very deep apart from Blackstenius, who is keeping Carter and Williamson occupied. And the ball is now worked back to Leah Williamson. England 0, Sweden 2. Who are the Women's Euro quarter-finals.
And they're so quick to close the ball down, aren't they? Sweden straight up to the ball. No time for England.
Here's Alessia Russo. Ball on the edge of the D. Back to Toon. This is good pressure from England. Can they make it count? Bronze with the ball in. Falk's there. Good take.
looks like they're really growing in confidence. England starting to find themselves in good areas. Lucy Bronze getting on the ball now and whipping some more crosses in, but there's so many numbers in the area, and Jennifer Falk looks really, really confident coming through those bodies and sweeping anything up. But yeah, your question about Michelle Adjiman coming on, I think she just offers a completely different option in terms of profile or physicality. She'll really work those centre backs for Sweden, and hopefully she causes some chaos and some opportunities for England.
Sweden have a throw deep in England territory. Is it the key that she's supposed to be the secret weapon, or really would it have helped her coming on now to try and save England's Euros to have got some game time against Netherlands and Wales?
And we'll just have to find out, won't we?
Here is Rolfert, plays it forward, little touch by Aslani, picked up by Jonna Anderson, hugging that left-hand touchline. Yellow shirts advancing forward, a rare foray forward in this second half. The ball goes out of play for an England throw, taken very quickly by Lucy Bronze, headed away by Julia Zagiotti, and out for another England throw. And still the England substitutes are receiving their final instructions. We've got 22 minutes plus added time to play. England 0, Sweden 2. Lines are open for 606 08085 909 693. Have your say with Natalie Pike and Tony Duggan here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. At the conclusion of this game, 10:30 UK time, that 606 show will be starting. You can book your call now, 08085 909 693, as this triple change is readied for England. Next time the ball goes out of play, it's Beth Mead, Esme Morgan and Michelle Adjiman, the wild card, the woman who scored inside 41 seconds on her debut. She can add a bit of sparkle, as can this player here, Lauren James, that she's lost possession and then committed the foul. And it has not really been James this evening. I mean, that applies to every single England player out there, really, Karen. But we've seen little glimpses of what she can do. But she's been shackled by Sweden and not allowed to burst into life.
No, I think she has been really well managed by Sweden. Again, players are on her nice and quick. 2v1 most of the time, just not letting Lauren James breathe on the ball, and it's been uncharacteristic, really. The touches have been lifted. She's not really been able to get up and face up a bit. So yeah, I think she's really struggled to get into this game. But these changes, I think, could add some, hopefully, another level, another dynamic to England's attack.
Right, here we go then. The triple change. Stanway, Carter and Toon are off. Adjiman, Mead and Esme Morgan for her major tournament debut and just her 15th cap for England are on. Karen Barty.
Yeah, it's a big moment for Esme Morgan. I think she's done really, really well in the NWSL. Obviously, you know, positive signs and sounds coming out of the England camp regarding how she's been doing. Hopefully this is a big moment. She's clever, she's intelligent, she'll be able to manage this, but all my attention is on Michelle Adjiman.
41 seconds it took her coming off the bench for her debut against Belgium to score a super goal. She had the joint most touches of any England player in the box against France. She came on 86 minutes. That's the sort of impact she can have, but it's Sweden coming forward. Loose touch by Blackstenius on the edge of the penalty area. And England's white shirts will work the ball forward. Remember, Blackstenius drawing a big save from Hannah Hampton in this second half. Hampton keeping the score at 2-0 to Sweden. How pivotal could that be? There's been a few moments where we've said that for England. How pivotal could they be? How quickly can the subs get into this game? Beth Mead can't trap that ball. Here's Jonna Anderson for Sweden on the halfway line. Plays it forward. That's aimless though. The England fans roar the name of Serena Wiegmann away to our right. And Esme Morgan picks it up. And they now, again, England, having not really done it too much in the second half, they've gone to this back three in possession. So Greenwood, Morgan and Williamson right now, with Lucy Bond on this right-hand side at right wing back. Lauren Hibb on the left side at left wing back. As Beth Mead picks it up on the right hand side. In field now to Lauren James. An England goal. Will Sweden starts to stumble? They've got to try and find a way to put the pressure on by reducing the deficit to 1 England. As James looking for options, she's spreading her arms, Lauren James, and saying, look, help me.
No, she looks frustrated, doesn't she? She knows the options are more advanced, they're in front of her, but they are being well marked by Sweden. The outlet's going to be on the opposite side, perhaps of Alex Greenwood on that left-hand side.
James is down, wins another free kick. She's done that well in this second half. And this is a good position. Lucy Bronze is shouting something at the bench. What do we think's going on here, Karen? She looks really frustrated, Lucy Bronze. Is she asking the medical staff to come on to have a look at Lauren James?
No, she wants a gel.
something.
Yeah.
She wants a gel, yeah. I was going to say, you don't really want to stop the game for any more, but she's absolutely down that gel, Lucy Bronze, and she's tossed the empty packet behind her. She is raging out there, Karen. You know her so well. This will be hurting bitterly.
Yeah, no, I think they will have been really disappointed by the way that they obviously started this game and conceding those 2 goals in the manner that they did. But you have to hold out hope. You have to back yourself and know that you can still pull something out of this. But it just feels like there's so much time pressure. It reminds me a little bit of 2012 in the Olympics when we were losing to Canada. You just feel so helpless when it's just not coming off.
17 and a half minutes to play. The Lionesses need 2 goals to just take it to extra time. Here's Greenwood, swings the free kick in left footed. Adjumang's in there, heads towards goal, and the header is nodded by Lauren Hemp towards Jennifer Falk, and she claims it didn't have enough pace on it. Hemp, she was stretching to reach it, and Sweden edged closer to the semi-finals.
And Adjumang, again, big target in there, winning that header. The opportunity there for Lauren Hemp. Just need a bit more on it, bit better placement. But for me, I think the biggest concern is that the Sweden defenders, the back line, haven't really looked that uncomfortable at all.
Here goes Kira Walsh. Can England summon up that spirit of 3 years ago, where they found a way to fight back late against Spain in the quarter-final? That was only a 1-goal deficit. They need 2 goals here. Good run down the left-hand side. Cleared away at the back by Holmberg. And it's a good clearance as well. It bounces off Lauren Hemp, and it will be a Sweden goal kick. Karen Bardsley.
Sometimes it really just feels like it's not going to be your night. You know, you're working your socks off. Lauren Hemp's trying to get the better of Holmberg on that right-hand side for Sweden, and that clearance just comes off your shin pads, and then Sweden slow the game down. So honestly, it's frustrating as a player from this perspective, because you just think you're doing everything you can possibly think of, and it's just not coming off.
Sweden are preparing changes as well. Janogy and Lena Hurtig left Arsenal this summer. And there's been a real super sub for them at these Euros. Scored twice off the bench in the last 2 games. Are preparing to come on. Leah Williamson takes the throw for England midway through the England half. Here is Russo. England's defence of their European crown is 16 minutes plus added time away from being ended here in Zurich by Sweden in the quarterfinals. But here goes Lauren James, and the white shirts are forward. James down the left-hand side. Adjumang, it bounces off her knee. Really poor control and hacked away by Sweden. Picked up by Alex Greenwood out to the left-hand side, and Lauren Hemp down the left she goes. Hooks the ball in. Russo's there. It's cleared away once more by Sweden. And this is the thing. Sweden are so proficient in the penalty area at defending crosses. Can England make one count? Williamson plays it forward. Adjumang's there. Falk's there too. Good take by the Sweden number 1.
No, they do. They defend their box brilliantly. They get pressure on the ball. You know, their centre backs are marked touch tight. You know, if they don't win the header, they're still trying to put their attackers off that they're marking. And again, Jennifer Falk really easy claim in the Sweden area.
Another loose touch by Adjumang, but she does recover, plays the ball back to Alex Greenwood. A hit and hope, really. Natalie Bjorn won't reach that ahead of Alessia Russo. That is really, really proper English there from Alessia Russo. Busting her gut to get to that ball. Can England build on it? Lovely ball by James. Here's him down the left-hand side. Skipped it in. Adjumang's headed towards goal. Get a touch. No, it didn't. The referee has stopped play for a potential head injury. It was brave defending there from Sweden. And we will have a little stoppage in play just to make sure that this isn't a serious head injury. But Michelle Adjumang, you know, she's putting herself about. She's a threat in the air. She's had a brilliant season on loan at Brighton from Arsenal, won Brighton's Young Player of the Year. Again, you just go back to that question, would it have been helpful for her to get a bit more game time against the Netherlands and Wales when Beaver Jones was brought on? So we see a replay of that challenge. It's Julia Zigotti who's down, and it was a bit of a nasty clash of heads, wasn't it?
No, I mean, it was a fair challenge, wasn't it? Both players obviously going for the ball, but, you know, again, adding context to Michelle Adjumang as well, you know, just coming on, she's still quite a young player. You can see that, you know, maybe a few of the touches are slightly loose here and there, and I don't think that necessarily more game time in the fixture before this one would have made that any tidier. You know, it's just she's young, she's slightly inexperienced, but, you know, England have to keep delivering those balls into her, because the strength really is her positioning, the physicality, how well she can work those centre backs in the spaces that she creates.
So double change being prepared for Sweden as Zijotti is up to her feet and walking back to the halfway line. Aslani, who got things underway in perfect fashion for Sweden inside 2 minutes. 50th goal for her country, is replaced by Lena Hurtig. And Fridolina Rolfö will be replaced by Fiorentina's Madeline Janogy.
And Lauren Hemp, she's put in a big effort tonight. I think she'll be really frustrated that she wasn't able to do a bit more, but you know, Chloe Kelly's been able to show what she's capable of doing, coming on for, you know, as a sub in England colours in the 2022 European Championships, and you know, she's had such a great season as well for Arsenal, so let's hope she can add something here tonight.
Scoring the winner in extra time against Germany, of course, Chloe Kelly, on that wonderful night at Wembley 3 years ago. But it is sobering here in Zurich against Sweden, unless England can turn this around. Adjimang, really good strength, finds Mead. Russo's making the run, blocked away by Anderson. Mead's delivery, Mead has it again, right hand side of the area, pulls it back to Lucy Bronze. Bronze with the chip in, Adjimang's in there. Again, Sweden make first contact, this time through Eriksson, and picked up now by Blackstenius. There's nobody there out on that right wing in a yellow shirt, but she won't mind, she's got it away from danger. And Alex Greenwood has it on the left hand side. England 0, Sweden 2. England have 11 minutes plus added time to save their Euro campaign, to keep alive the chances of defending this European crown. Ball swung in from the left-hand side, and Bronze is there! Lucy Bronze gives England hope late in this quarter-final. And that is why sometimes it's a good idea to let her get forward. Trademark run from Lucy Bronze, trademark header, and just as she did in the semi-final against Sweden 3 years ago, she heads England into this game.
By the way, what work from Alessia Russo to get into that corner, to win that ball back, to find Chloe Kelly, to whip in such a brilliant cross for Lucy Bronze getting forward. That's what she does. That's why, again, Lucy Bronze is on the pitch. We saw her do that against Sweden in 2022, and now they're back in it.
What a huge 11 minutes we've got coming up here for you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Can England become the first side at the Women's Euros to come back from 2 goals down in a knockout match and win and progress? Whether it's extra time, whether it's penalties, they won't care. Can they get it to extra time? Here goes Adjimang, out to the left-hand side. Alex Greenwood plays it over the halfway line. Russo's making the run. It's headed away by Natalie Bjorn. And now here comes the test for Sweden. Sweden, who have not been tested enough in this game. What about their mentality now as England win a throw over on the far side?
I'm really buzzing for Chloe Kelly. Instant impact from her, getting on the pitch, and then just a little bit of belief. That's all that England needed, and they're just going to threaten the remainder of this game.
And here she goes again, Chloe Kelly down the left-hand side. Brilliant work, hooks it in, meets it there, Adjimang! What an impact! What an impact from the teenager! And Serena Wiegman has done it again with these substitutes. My word, they've left it late in this game, but they have come from 2 goals down to level things up. Michelle Adjimang, take a bow. That is why you were brought on. And she scores her first major tournament goal for England. And how precious could that be? It's England 2, Sweden 2.
And again, Chloe Kelly. Oh my goodness. You are fabulous, girl. Puts in a great cross. She believes in herself, but who is there? The youngster Michelle Adjimang to bang that home. What a fantastic start. A fantastic response from England.
Now keep your heads, Lionesses, because Sweden have been stung. Sweden are coming forward. Down the right-hand side, they've won a throw, but this now is anyone's game. And England have plucked hope, at least, from the jaws of bitter disappointment here. We've got 8.5 minutes to play, and it's 2-2 in this quarter-final.
England have to keep going, keep getting the ball to Chloe Kelly. Sweden don't have a response. You know, you look at the shocked body language of Jennifer Falk, and you're riding on this wave of momentum. You just have to keep going. But the belief that Lucy Bronze has had in herself to keep getting forward, she's a winner. And she's bringing that out of everyone else. I'd like to see Beth Mead get a bit more involved. But boy, what a response. I'm over the moon, Vicky.
79 minutes. Lucy Bronze gave England hope. 81 minutes. Michelle Adjimang levelled up this quarter-final. And now it's England with the belief. England with the momentum. And Sweden, who are shocked. Sweden, who are stunned. Sweden, who have a throw just inside their own half. Forward it goes from Alex Greenwood. Flicked on by Lena Hurtig and thumped clear by Esme Morgan. Up to Alessia Russo. Tried the little back heel. Wasn't quite near enough the goal to do what she did in the semi-final, but she's kept possession. Falk has come out to the edge of her area and claims it before Beth Mead can reach it. But look, Karen, I'm just looking down at all the changes that have been made. Sweden have taken some of the big guns off. Aslani's gone, Rolf has gone. Yes, they've still got quality on the pitch, but England have left their attacking players on because they needed 2 goals. They've got them. Can they push on and get this third? Can they become the first side to come from 2 goals down and win a knockout match at the Women's Euros and keep alive their defence of their European crown? Or can Sweden hit the front once again? It's Blackstenius just outside the D. Forward to Lena Hurtig, who's in such good form off the bench. It's Angledahl. It's a brilliant challenge by James. And Chloe Kelly picks it up again. In field now to Beth Mead. Lauren Hemp has it out to the left-hand side as Chloe Kelly picks it up. Back to Alex Greenwood, and England will just slow the play down. 103 seconds between the 2 England goals. It's a long time in football, isn't it?
Just goes to show that the game can turn on its head at any moment, and boy am I relieved, you know, just to see England claw their way back into the game. But as you say, I think the likes of Aslani coming off was a big decision from Peter Gerhardt's side.
Could it cost them? Could it be fatal? Eriksson's pushed over Alessia Russo. It's England in the ascendancy, and they've got to be wary of that Sweden counter. But at the moment, they are looking the more likely to score. It's Alex Greenwood with his free kick on the left-hand side. Karen Barsley can't barely look to my right. You've got your hands in front of your face. But keep watching, Karen, because this would be one of the greatest results in the Lionesses' history if they can turn this around. It's 2-2 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. It's Greenwood. She swings it in left-footed, and Falk is there and claims it so well as she has done throughout this game.
It's funny, isn't it? I mean, you kind of wonder how this is the same team that started the game. There's like a real feeling of belief, a real feeling of energy. Unreal.
Forward by Falk over the halfway line, flicked on by Lena Hurtig. Esme Morgan will chase it and get there. And then Hampton is closed down by Chelsea teammate Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd. And a few groans from the England fans as Hampton sends the clearance straight out of play midway through the England half, and Sweden have taken the throw quickly. Here's Yanogi, the substitute, over on the far side, well defended by Alex Greenwood. They win the throw as well. And isn't it strange, Karen, how sometimes the momentum shifts in a game, suddenly everything, all those little fine margins seem to go your way.
Yeah, no, things are just falling nicely for England now, aren't they? But I think those substitutions were key. Would I have liked to have seen them sooner? Yes, definitely. I think Esme Morgan's definitely added an element of stability to that back line.
Remind me to say something to you about Chloe Kelly and the time she had in a moment. As the ball goes out of play on the far side, James challenged England throw. I was about to say to you, do you think giving Chloe Kelly 13 minutes is long enough for her to have an impact? Well, it absolutely is. She's put in 2 brilliant balls from the left-hand side, and they've yielded 2 England goals.
Just goes to show like the form that she's been in, and obviously Arsenal as well, the confidence that she's had. You know, she's absolutely turned her season around.
Ball over the top, Beth Mead, flag stays down, chests it down inside the area. Adjimang wants it, and Mead's pass is a little short, and Eriksson then goes down under the challenge from Michelle Adjimang, who gets booked as well. I think that's a little bit harsh there. First yellow card of the game, and Michelle Adjimang into the book. We'll have to see a replay of that challenge on Eriksson, but what do we think, Karen?
I'm just blown away by the fact that she's come on, you know, scored a goal, got a yellow card. She's still so calm. Like she's just so fun to watch.
So Jennifer Falk will take this free kick for Sweden. Sweden who looks shell-shocked. Coming forward now, Christina Blackstenius. Williamson gets there, fizzes it back to Hampton, goes down by Blackstenius, so Hampton goes for safety once again over on that far side. Well, we said, didn't we, Karen? And Blackstenius missed that opportunity, that one-on-one, with Hampton making a really good save, but it was a big chance early on in the second half to put Sweden 3-0 up. Would it be a pivotal moment? England have clawed their way back into this one at 2-2. It's been a brilliant performance off the bench from Chloe Kelly and Adjumang. Overall, it's been one of the poorest Lionesses' performances under Serena Wiegman, but they won't care. They've given the ball away. They will care if this goes in. It's Janogy, really good save, Hampton. Beats it away at a near post, but she never should have been called into action there. England have to stay focused.
And again, it must be the commentator's curse. This is the moment I compliment Esme Morgan. It's a slightly loose pass, and Hannah Hampton comes to the rescue. She defends that near post really, really well and parries the ball away, but we've seen how dangerous Sweden can be from set pieces. They're loading that back post. There's so many numbers in the box.
It is such a strength of theirs. You've got the likes of Eriksson forward as Angeldal prepares to take this. Anderson is unmarked in the corner of the area, but I think Angeldal will swing this in. Lena Hurtig's there as well, as it is swung in. It's cleared away by England. It will be another, or will it? Well, I was going to say another Sweden corner. Sweden aren't too happy with that. They're furious with the Spanish referee Marta Huerta de Aza, as is the yellow wall behind the goal. England don't care. They've got a goal kick. It's 2-2 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Now just managing these next few moments is going to be really, really key. And looking to go long, and I think you can see a replay and you can hear the groans from the Swedish fans. A bit of a 50-50. Lena Hurtig's hoping to get more, but she won't be getting anything.
Yeah, really frustrating for Sweden. Definitely should have been a Sweden corner. Came off the head of Walsh. As Mead then is challenged. High boot from Zijotti. And I was going to say, and the yellow card is out. If that's a foul from Adjumang on Eriksson, that's definitely a foul from Zijotti.
The subs they were on their feet. I think everyone is just getting behind this team right now. There's so much belief. It's a high foot, isn't it, from Zijotti on Beth Mead. Just leaves one on her just below the hip area. But another opportunity to capitalize on a set piece, you know, fantastic take from the likes of Chloe Kelly and Lauren James just moving into space.
Deep breaths, everyone. Here we go. Free kick into the area. It's cleared away by Sweden, picked up by Lucy Bronze, and now back to Esme Morgan. All miscontrol. Just managed to rescue that situation. Ritin Kannerid otherwise would have been in on goal from the halfway line. And that could have been it for England. It's still 2-2 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Here is Lauren James as we enter the final 20 seconds of normal time. Chloe Kelly's ball into the area, cleared away by Sweden. Kelly trying to get on the end of it. It was a poor challenge on Angeldal. That's a really poor challenge, and I think Chloe Kelly definitely will be in the book. And that might be an orange, you know, from the strength of the challenge. And also, yes, she's midway through the Sweden half, but Sweden were off on the counter there.
Bodies are flying, aren't they? It looks like Chloe Kelly here just goes in a bit late, quite clumsy on Philippa Angeldal, and she's lucky, to be fair, I think, to come away with the yellow there.
Yeah, the fact perhaps that she drew her legs back and almost took her out with her knees is what's made it a yellow card rather than anything else. We're into the final 3 minutes. 3 minutes of added time. Poor ball forward from Sweden. They're rattled after conceding those quick fire goals. 103 seconds between them. Lucy Bronze first with the header, and then Michelle Adjumang, composure from close range. Chloe Kelly, the substitute, heavily involved in both goals. And England have rescued, it looks like, extra time. But let's see, we've still got 2 minutes of added time to play as Hurtig goes down, wins a free kick just inside the England half. Karen Bardsley.
I just keep thinking, you know, I'm looking at Peter Gerhardsson there in the Swedish technical area. He's probably fuming that he's taken the likes of Kosa Aslani off, and obviously Fiorina Rolfo, considering that there's going to be extra time and potentially penalties. Let's hope it doesn't get that far.
Yeah, Rolfo just back from injury, but she's so proficient at the spot. As Angeldal chips up on forward. Oh, it's a clever delivery, but doesn't catch out Hannah Hampton, who gathers at the near post. Yes, I was speaking to the Swedish radio commentator before this game in the press room, and he was wondering whether actually Rolfo might not start. So key could she be in a penalty shootout? She's not going to be able, because of her fitness at the moment, to play the full extra time and penalties. But when she went off, Sweden were 2-0 up. Now it's 2-2, and that is where we're heading. Unless either side can get a late goal. It's good work by Sweden. Janegi driving towards the area. Good covering by Lauren James, coming across and shepherding her counterpart number 7 away. Good block as well by Beth Mead, and James will play it forward. And here goes Michelle Adjimang. Is this her moment? She's levelled things up for England in this game. She's got Russo to her left. It's Alessia Russo, and it's blocked away by Magdalena Eriksson. What a super block. In fact, it's the substitute Holmberg who is getting back there. She's limping from having made that challenge, and now she sits down in the 6-yard box. But that was a goal-saving block from Smilla Holmberg, and it looked for all the world as though Alessia Russo was going to send England into the semi-finals. But it's still 2-2. England will have a corner, and this, you would think, would be the last kick of normal time.
Oh, it was a brilliant opportunity, but the option was on Alessia Russo's left, with Chloe Kelly charging into the area.
But it's Kelly now who will take this corner. Can England win it at the death? Oh, it's off the bar. Falk was there. It was a corner that drifted in, and she got a touch on it. She's furious, Falk. She's screaming at the referee. She's saying to the Sweden goalkeeper, I didn't touch it. But that isn't the decision. The decision is England corner on the left-hand side. We played the 3 minimum minutes of added time. Serena Wiegman stands emotionless on the outside, but she won't be on the inside, with her arms clasped behind her back on the edge of her technical area. This is it now for England. Score here and you're in the semi-finals, or we go to extra time against Sweden. It's Chloe Kelly, swings it in from the left-hand side. It's looping. First contact is Sweden's, away by Janegi. It's out of the penalty area. Walsh picks it up and will control. And there we have it, the full-time whistle. And the England fans around us rise to their feet in applause. And a few yellow and blue Swedish flags are waved forlornly. For so long it looked as though Sweden was sailing through to the semi-finals. But the Lionesses found their roar with those substitutes, and late goals from Bronze and Adjimang mean we go to extra time. Wow.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant from Lucy Bronze and Michelle Adjimang. The substitutions, Chloe Kelly. You know, what a big moment for her, being involved in both of those as well. But yeah, what a funny game. I mean, you know, at halftime we're nearly writing England off, weren't we? And essentially they've been able to pull it back and give themselves a chance.
Karen, Vicky, thank you so much for the time being. What a game of football we are witnessing, and we are going to extra time. The score after full time, England 2, Sweden 2, so extra time to come, potentially penalties as well. Don't go anywhere. We are live in Zurich in the Stadion Lesegren, but for the moment we're going to pause now and get some breaking news with Nick Hatfield.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Katie. Good evening. Police say one child has died after a coach carrying school pupils crashed on a rural road in Exmoor. Between 60 and 70 people were on the coach at the time, which was headed to a school in Minehead. Paramedics say 21 of those on board were taken to hospital for treatment. Several had serious injuries, including 2 children. Most passengers are at a rest centre that's been established at a nearby pub, and parents of the students who attend Minehead Middle School are being asked to gather at the school. The coach apparently flipped over and slid 20 feet down a bank. Chief Superintendent Mark Edgington is from Avon and Somerset Police.
Shortly before 3 p.m. this afternoon, emergency services were called to a collision involving a coach on the A396 at Cutcombe Hill in Exmoor. Approximately 60 to 70 people were believed to be on board at the time. A major incident was declared, with police, fire and ambulance services dispatching crews to the scene. The coach was carrying a number of adults and children to Minehead Middle School when it overturned. We can confirm tonight that one child has sadly died. A formal identification process will need to be carried out, but our thoughts and sympathies are with their family, who we're in contact with at this time, and specially trained officers are with them to provide support.
And Nick Bright will have the latest on this incident after the football finishes and 6:06 here on 5 Live. Some other news in brief, and the MP Diane Abbott has been suspended by the Labour Party, which has started an investigation into her. It's after she said in a BBC interview she does not regret previous comments she made about racism and was previously suspended for. The identities of more than 100 British officials, including members of the Special Forces and MI6, were leaked as part of a major data breach. Previously it emerged information on thousands of Afghans was also mistakenly leaked. And President Trump has been diagnosed with a common but benign vein condition. The White House says he was examined by a doctor after swelling in his legs.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025
with Katie Smith
on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
So it is time for extra time for the Lionesses, the defending champions who have come from 2 goals down to make it 2-2 in Zurich against Sweden in a rematch of the semi-finals from 3 years ago. This is the European Championships. It's the quarterfinals live on 5 Live Sport. Can England do what no team has ever done before and grab victory from 2 goals down? 30 minutes of extra time to come, perhaps penalties to follow as well. We return to our commentary team, former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Katie. Well, buckle in, everyone. Here we go. Extra time beckons for England and Sweden. It's Sweden who are going to get us underway in the first period of extra time. But Karen, I mean, let's just reflect on that final 11 minutes of normal time for England, because out of nowhere they have rescued this quarter-final and taken this game to extra time.
Yeah, no, I genuinely think the additions of the subs, as much as I would have liked to have seen them sooner, they've just been absolutely pivotal. I think Chloe Kelly, the deliveries into the area have just been delightful, but the composure from Michelle Adjumang to put that away, such a young player with limited experience at the senior level, but yeah, it's absolutely flipped on its head, hasn't it, Vicky?
So here we go, extra time. Both sides will get another substitution opportunity and have the chance to make a 6th change in the game if they want to. So England with 2 alterations, they can make Sweden with 3. But as we say, Sweden have taken some of their big players off. They were 2-0 up at the time, now it's 2-2. As England win the throw over on the far side. So England with Hampton in goal now. The back 4 of bronze. Williamson, Esme Morgan off the bench and Greenwood. Walsh in the centre. Newwood. It's going to be really interesting to see plays alongside her there as well. It's almost James and Russo playing ahead of her, because of course England really have only one out-and-out centre midfielder because they were trying so desperately to get back in the game. So Walsh at the moment with James and Russo sitting ahead of her, and then Kelly and Adjumang and Mead creating this very fluid front 3. What an England team we've seen really before us. Greenwood plays it in, it's blocked away at the back by Smilla Homburg, who made that fabulous block right at the end of normal time to deny Alessia Russo a goal which would have put England into the semi-finals, as England have won a throw deep in Sweden territory on the left-hand side. Karen Bardsley.
I think you could just see straight away Lauren James is still having that free roll to be able to link up and supply that extra pass for Kira Walsh, and it's paying off massively.
Ball into the area from James, it's cleared away by Sweden, back in by Alex Greenwood. Adjumang's in there causing all sorts of problems, but eventually the ball will bounce through to Jennifer Falk, who is in goal for Sweden. Their back 4 now of Holmberg, Bjorn, Eriksson and Andersson. Angeldal and Zijotti still in the centre, with Ritten Karnerid, Hurtig and Janegi supporting Stina Blackstenius up front. How much of this now, Karen, as Falk sends the ball over the halfway line, comes down to mentality and who handles this situation better?
No, I think it's all about desire at the end of the day, and I think there's so much quality and mentality that we've seen in England, and they just needed a little bit of belief, didn't they? I think that goal, or those 2 goals in the fashion that they've scored them, is really given them some belief. But we can see some gels being thrown onto the pitch, and I think some of the players are really starting to fatigue a little bit out there. The intensity is unbelievable.
Cleared away by Sweden at the back. Williamson does the same for England, brought down beautifully by Russo, but she's well dispossessed by Zijotti. Now here goes Lena Hurtig out to the left-hand side. Janegi's made the run, Bronze is there, gets a toe to it first, out of play for a Sweden throw.
And it's good from Bronze being able to get out there nice and quick, and that was one of the things that I think England really struggled, was denying any crosses into the area. And I think Esme Morgan, that addition, she looks really calm there alongside Lee Williamson.
Here is Lena Hurtig out to the left-hand side. She goes for Sweden. A couple of ricochets, but they haven't kept it in anyway. Sweden over on that far side. And England have the throw. 3 minutes gone in extra time. England 2, Sweden 2. And if you're England here, what is your game plan, Karen, for extra time?
I think much of the same. I think what was working was obviously getting Michelle Adjumeng forward, getting the deliveries to her, having that defensive security behind the ball, allowing Lauren James to have that freedom to roam and get on and try to create. And that's what she's so good at. So really being organised behind the ball is key.
Lauren James gets a foot in, and there was a handball in there as well from Sweden. England have the free kick midway through their own half. Serena Wiegman strides out to the edge of her technical area.
We did say at the beginning of this game, didn't we, that England certainly wouldn't make it easy, and they definitely haven't. I've got loads more grey hairs than I did before I came here tonight.
Yes, I can see.
Stop that! That's not very
You've aged 10 years. I think I have too. What a game it's been. Lauren James coming forward down the left-hand side. Here is the ever so dangerous Chloe Kelly. Russo's taken up a good position. Sajotti just gets there ahead of her, but now James picks it up. Edge of the area, curls it in. It's cleared away by Sweden. James wins the header just outside the penalty area. Thumped clear by Angeldal, but this is a different England again that we're seeing.
That's
this
so
is
much
an England
better.
with confidence.
That's so much better from Esme Morgan. Straight away blocks the run of Blackstenius, wins a 50-50. And I think what also the support she had from the likes of Alex Green was she's closer to win those second balls.
Ball is all the way through for Jennifer Falk. There will be a time to ask the question, should that change have been made earlier? Should this have been experimented with more? But if ultimately it pays off, it's a question that can perhaps wait for another time, because we are where we are, England are where they are, and where England are is they fought back from 2 goals down. Serena Wiegman's substitutes, whether they could have come earlier or not, have made the difference and level things up at 2-2 as Hannah Hampton has to tap that behind. It was a good effort from Angeldal. She's not afraid of going for goal from range. That was about 35 yards. I think she's hurt herself while taking the shot. It was Adjumeng who came in and made the block, in fact, as Angeldal took that shot, but she's up to her feet, and it is a Sweden corner.
I love that from Michelle Adjumeng, to be able to get there and just put a body on Angeldal, because we've seen her do that so many times. I've seen her do that when she was at Man City, to shoot from distance and score. But again, the desire from that young player, Adjumeng, to get back and do the defensive duties, that's huge.
And she's back there defending as well. She's good in the air, Michelle Adjumeng. And that is her defensive focus now. As Sweden have this corner from the near side. The yellow shirts are in there. They are proficient from set pieces. Corner swung in to the crowded 6-yard box. Hampton comes, gets something on it, and it's hacked clear. I think Beth Mead's boot was in there to send the ball out of the penalty area. Heart-in-mouth time for Karen Bardsley, amongst others, as the ball goes out of play for an England throw on the far side. 2-2 in extra time, 6 minutes gone.
Yeah, no, I could just see the 2 palms and the massive green shirt from Hannah Hampton coming through bodies. And again, so many yellow shirts in that 6-yard box, and I think Beth Mead did well to get there and clear any sort of danger. But yeah, England really have to make sure that they don't give any unnecessary set pieces or corners away.
They've lost possession from the throw. Here is Rissing Connerid. He's been quiet in the second half. She wins the free kick, foul committed by Beth Mead. And Sweden coming forward now again. They send the height up from the back. This is what they do, even though this set piece is just a third of the way inside the England half. They look rattled, Sweden, but they do seem to have just steadied the ship a little bit. Now we've got to this period of extra time.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It looks like they're trying to claw themselves back into this game, and I certainly hope they don't.
Here is Angeldal with the free kick. Decent delivery. Bjorn was in there. Hampton covered the near post well as the header flashes just wide. She really, really has grown into this game, Hannah Hampton.
No, she has. She's made some huge, huge saves, hasn't she? And listen, it could have been a lot different if she didn't manage to get over those early nerves.
Nerves, yes, that characterised England at the start of this game. They were behind inside 2 minutes. They were 2-0 down midway through the first half, but those late goals, 79 from Bronze, 81 from Adjimang, 103 seconds between them, mean that we are in extra time in the Women's Euros quarter-finals. England, the defending champions, looking to become the first senior England side to retain a major trophy. It looked for so much of this game that the journey was going to end here, that Sweden would stop them in Switzerland. But we're in added time. We're in extra time, I should say. 8 minutes in. They dug deep, but Sweden coming forward now. They're just building a little bit of momentum in this first period of extra time. Here's Hurtig, right-hand side of the penalty area now. Blackstenius chips it across, looking for Yanogi. It's cleared away by Leah Williamson. Header forward by Zigiotti. Yanogi knew that she wasn't quite going to get there, and Hannah Hampton comes and claims it's still 2-2.
That's really, really good defending from Williamson. She's alert, she's first to it, she's aggressive through the clearance as well. Sets England on their way. Hannah Hampton front foot. I think as a defender you're happy to see the ball in her hands.
A little bit of hesitation from Eriksson, charged down by Michelle Adjimang. Eriksson does clear out to the left-hand side, up towards halfway Sweden go. Ball bounces off Blackstenius, but actually it was a good cushion to Angeldal, but Angeldal under pressure from Williamson stepping up there, can only play it to James. James has it once again, a lovely ball out to the right-hand side. Real effortless ease she played that with, as Beth Mead's ball into the area takes a deflection behind for an England corner. 2-2, 10 minutes gone in extra time.
And it's all been a bit scrappy, hasn't it? Slightly stop-start from time to time, but I think England are finding themselves working themselves into good areas.
Well, England love extra time at the Euros, don't they? They did 3 years ago. They won in the quarter-final against Spain in extra time. Of course, they won in the final against Germany in extra time through this woman, Chloe Kelly, who's made such an impact coming off the bench. Over to the far side she goes. Mead's there as the short option for the corner. Kelly raises both arms in the air, chips the ball into the crowded 6-yard area. It's flicked away by Hurtig, back in by Lucy Bronze. Sweden struggling to clear, falls to Bronze, left-hand side of the area, shoots towards goal. It's blocked away. Rissing Cunnery can't bring it clear. Walsh will send it out to the left-hand side, and the spin of the ball sees Greenwood reach it. Greenwood sends it in. It's cleared away inside the 6-yard box, and that was a foul there. It was a push. Sweden have a player down. Good defending, brilliant defending in fact by Natalie Bjorn. She was fouled, and this does not look good for Leah Williamson. Williamson has gone down, holding her ankle. She's got England players over there trying to make sure that she's okay. Whistle's gone, it's a free kick to Sweden. They cleared it anyway, and it's the way that Williamson falls as she challenges Bjorn for that header, and Chloe Kelly is gesturing vigorously indeed for the medical staff to come on, and this is a real concern here for England. Leah Williamson down, and Serena Wiegman looks concerned as well. She's having a conversation with Alex Greenwood, imparting some tactics, but Williamson looks in real pain here. She's gripping the hands of Chloe Kelly, who's there comforting her, now squeezing her shoulder.
Yeah,
but this looks bad for Leah Williamson.
She looks like she's in real pain there. But you can see, you know, that cross in, a delightful cross, by the way, from Alex Greenwood, really whipped round with her left foot. As Leah Williamson went up and she came down, it looks like on the foot, perhaps, of Natalie Bjorn, and you know, I've seen that far too many times where you just go over on your ankle, and it doesn't take much, especially if you've not done it your ankle before. It can be quite painful, so hopefully it's just a bit of a startling experience, and hopefully it's not too bad.
Well, Chloe Kelly is actually sitting down next to Leah Williamson on the edge of the 6-yard box. A reminder, this game is on BBC One. If you want to sync up our commentary with the pictures, you can choose that option via the iPlayer, or join the BBC One commentary crew of Robin Cowan and Rachel Brown-Finnis. Chloe Kelly still just sitting next to Leah Williamson and being that comfort and support there. So, deep in the first period of extra time here, still 2-2 between England and Sweden. Chloe Kelly now takes Leah Williamson under the armpits and lifts her to her feet. And this is good. Williamson is walking off the pitch. She's walking gingerly. I'm just looking. Let's see. Grace Clinton's going to come on, but she wouldn't replace Williamson. She's taking off a big Clinton. Might be a little shuffling around, but at the moment Williamson is walking over as though she's going to come back. Oh, yeah, she's just starting to jog. So that is a real relief, Karen. And like you say, when you've not had that happen to your ankle before, and we know that the injuries that Leah Williamson has had, she missed the World Cup a couple of years ago with an ACL, and spoke even in the build-up to the opener against France how she had this anxiety until that match day -1 because she so desperately wanted to be here. But she is back on the pitch, the England captain, and that is very good news indeed, and applause around the Stadion Letzigrund here in Zurich. So ball out of play for a Sweden throw, and Grace Clinton is preparing still, it looks like, to come on as Serena Wiegmann strides back to...
They might have to delay it just a little bit to kind of see how obviously Leah Williamson carries on, because that to me looks like a substitution that was potentially going to happen before the injury, but
yeah,
might just have to be delayed slightly.
No, very true. They do have 2 more changes they can make, England, because we're into extra time, so they get an additional one, having made 4 in normal time. But I think you're right, Karen, and we are ticking towards half-time as well, so there is an argument to say, look, have a mini break at half-time and have a proper chat with Leah Williamson, as Lucy Bronze raises a hand of apology. Free kick's gone the way of Sweden, but England still have a player down on the edge of the centre circle. That's Beth Mead, who's now holding the top of her shoulder. All very stop-start here in Zurich as we head towards half-time and extra time. But who would you say has had the better period so far? Actually, Karen's thoughts in a moment, because they are going to make this change just before half-time, and Kira Walsh is coming off and Grace Clinton's coming on. And again, this is interesting, isn't it? Because still, England only have one recognised central midfielder on the pitch.
Yeah, no, I think Kira Walsh has had a bit of a tough night. She's really been marked out of the game for large spells, and to be fair, she's done well where she could, but she needed an extra pass many times, I think, in build-up.
So Sweden with the long free kick into the area. Hurtig's there, heads the ball across goal. Sweden trying to latch onto it. Shot towards goal is tame and hacked clear by Lucy Bronze. Every single white shirt was inside that penalty area there, and England survived. Still 2-2 in extra time.
You can see the youthfulness of Michelle Adjiman as well. She was defending in the box, and then she sprinted quickly to try to get pressure on the back line of Sweden.
And Sweden have it again just outside the penalty area. It's Blackstenius. Chips it over to this right-hand side, where it will be collected by Holmberg. Ball into the area, it's behind all the yellow shirts as Lena Hurtig spins and watches it spin out to the left-hand side. Janagi will get it. Jonna Andersson's up there. Good challenge over on that far side by Beth Mead, and picked up now by Alessia Russo, driving forward to Lauren James. Really good challenge. That looked like by Hurtig to get the ball. Might have taken a bit of James as well, but first of all got the ball. James has stayed down the centre circle. Referee's going to stop it. She didn't stop it for a free kick. Lauren James now with her hand over her face, looking in some pain as we enter 2 minutes of added time, but there will be more. Karen Barsley, what do we think?
Ouch. I mean, it was a bit late. I think Lauren James was nearly away, and it looked to me like Lena Hurtig just caught Lauren James's leg in between her knee, as it was almost bent when she was sliding in, and she just kind of rolled over on it as she was trying to accelerate away, Lauren James. And yeah, that's going to be a painful one. And this is, again, making substitutions when people are carrying injuries on the pitch, and yeah, it's a bit of a roll of the dice. But yeah, it looks like a real painful one. Just watch there, Vicky, you can see that she just gets caught in kind of like the knee in between Lena Hurtig as she was sliding there.
Well, she does look as though she gets a touch on the ball, Hurtig, but as Karen says, it's as then she falls as she makes that challenge, and James's foot goes underneath that knee, so she's receiving treatment on the pitch. So that does give us time, Karen, to talk about, I mean, will either side be pleased with this first half of extra time, or has this really just been about everybody kind of getting to grips with what's happened at the end of normal time with those 2 late England goals to take it to 2-2?
So much drama, isn't there, in this game? I mean, at one part we all wanted Serena Wiegmann's head, didn't we? And now we're like, oh no, just kidding, you genius, you know. And but I think big shout out to the likes of Alessia Russo. She's put in a huge shift today. She's been all over every single blade of grass, and the substitutes, they've really, you know, brought another layer of energy to this England team.
So Sweden in possession. We're back underway. James off the pitch though, having received treatment. Risking Canarid's delivery into the area, headed away by Grace Clinton just on the pitch for England. Janagi picks it up on the left-hand side. Now Anderson plays it back to Zajotti. Her ball forward is cut out by Alessia Russo, who really is putting a shift essentially in central midfield at the moment, and then joining the attack when she can. Sweden have a throw over on the far side. James is back on the pitch. We played the 2 added minutes here in extra time, but there will be more because of those stoppages. So, Sweden in possession, in the centre circle. Here is Natalie Bjorn. She has the option on the right-hand side of Ritten Canary, but goes for the ball into the area instead. Hampton comes, doesn't get there, neither does Hurtig. It's bouncing around in the area. England need to get this clear. They need to not commit the foul. Grace Clinton does put the challenge in on Blackstenius, who doesn't appeal for the penalty. And ball goes out of play for a Sweden throw, but England are living very dangerously there. And is the referee just said, no, I thought she was going to say, stop, let's wait for VAR. She's actually telling Sweden to take the throw. Oh no, to wait because there was another ball on the pitch. So now Sweden can take the throw. England can breathe again. My word, that all got a bit harem-scarum as Sweden swing the ball into the area again. Hannah Hampton watches it and claims well.
Yeah, really well watched, really well protected there from Alex Greenwood. She made sure that Lena Hurtig didn't have a free run at goal, but looks like Alex Green may have just picked up some contact on the way and she limps up the pitch. But I've got visions, Vicky, of 2023 against Nigeria going to quarterfinal, going to penalties, and I really hope they get the job done in this next half of extra time.
And of course Sweden have penalty shootout agony and celebrations of their own at recent major tournaments as the whistle goes, half time and extra time. Beat the US on penalties in the last 16 at the World Cup 2 years ago, lost the Olympic final 4 years ago to Canada on penalties. Still got 15 minutes of extra time to play, but I'm not going to lie, Katie, I have just found my penalty grid.
Well, and it's certainly been something on the minds of the Swedish camp. It feels more so than the English camp, Karen, just from being at the press conferences yesterday. Gerhardsson, the manager, who's just talking to his players over on the left-hand side down below us, as Serena Wiegman gets the England players in a huddle as well. He was talking about those penalty experiences that they have had against Canada at the Olympics, against the USA on, opposite sides. But he said it's something that they aren't deliberately practicing. They're not having organised training about it. I wonder if you know much about how England are approaching that sort of scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he might come to regret those words, because England have thought of every single possibility. They would have planned out who's going to take what the walk, what the approach is going to be like. How, is Hannah Hampton going to hand over the ball? Who likes what, in terms of their preferences? And that's a level of detail. And so England will be prepared for this type of scenario and this type of situation. I do genuinely wonder, though, if Peter Gerhardsson's going to regret taking players like, Kosovare Asllani off and Fridolina Rolfö as well. I don't know their approach, if they were actually going to take one anyway, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Well, he's still only made 3 substitutions, Vicky, so we've not seen any changes from Sweden in extra time.
Yeah, they've got 3 more that they can make, and I think what's really interesting as well on that point, that he asked so many questions about penalties in the press conference. Katie, you and I were remarking on it, but from the Swedish media, but basically he said, look, you can't really make an order because you don't know who's going to end the game on the field of play, which is true, and to be fair, at the time that he took off Fridolina Rolfö in particular, then, it was one of those where they were 2-0 up, they looked as though they were coasting through, and you've got to try and manage the game. You can't think, oh, well, she might, need to stay on for penalties. But here are changes, one for Sweden. So Johanna Ritten Kaneryd has come off, and Sofia Jakobsen has come on, and Niamh Charles, this will be England's final change. Niamh Charles is about to come on. Who's she going to replace? Let's see, Nilden, it looks like, has come on as well. We'll try and tidy up who Nilden has come on for Sweden. And what is this change? Is it Leah Williamson? It looks as though she's not going to be able to continue. Yes, so Leah Williamson, who took a real knock in extra time, is off. Charles is on. And Jonna Anderson is the player who's been replaced by Nilden. So, thoughts towards penalties already perhaps, Karen Barty, as we prepare to start the second half?
Yeah, I think so, but Jonna Anderson's put in a huge shift for Sweden up and down that left-hand side. But yeah, Amanda Nilden, really experienced player as well, so shore up Sweden defensively and perhaps one eye on penalties.
So we're underway in extra time. Nilden wins a header. Sweden playing from right to left in this second period of extra time. And Esme Morgan clears the ball out of play. What is this like as a player at this stage, Karen Barzi? Can you stop your thoughts from going to a penalty shootout? Because there's 14 and a half minutes for one of these sides to win it.
You have to be in the present moment. I was punished for this at some point in my career when I was younger about, okay, like, we'll think about penalties, but you have to ensure that you get there, because if you're not fully focused, a team like Sweden will punish you.
So Nilden of Tottenham throws the ball forward for Sweden. Janegi tumbles. Lucy Bronze is there for England and plays it back to Hannah Hampton. She clears it over the halfway line up towards Michelle Adjimang, but there's too much on that. And you can see Chloe Kelly waving forward the England midfield. It's Beth Mead now who's almost slotted into that central position alongside Grace Clinton. You've got Russo ahead of her in the 10. Kelly out on the left-hand side. James on the right. Adjimang up front. Charles now over at left back, Greenwood and Morgan in the centre with Bronze at right back and Hampton in goal. I'm not sure I've ever done the formation backwards, but there you go, that's England formation.
It looks to me like it's just going to be no nonsense for the likes of Beth Mead in there. There won't be a lot of intricate ball playing just in front of the back line. It'll be put into an area, get up the pitch, squeeze.
So England with the throw over on the far side as we tick towards a penalty shootout in this Women's Euros quarter-final. If England were to find a way to win it in extra time, they would become the only side to win a knockout game at the Women's Euros, having gone 2 goals down. They looked as though they were heading out until on 79 minutes Lucy Bronze gave them hope with that header from close range, a classic Lucy Bronze far post run. 103 seconds later, Michelle Adjimang, the teenager with her first major tournament goal, slotting home from close range. That's why we're in extra time. And 2 minutes have gone in this second period as England have a throw over on the far side. Karen Bardsley.
I mean, by the way, what a massive moment for Grace Clinton as well to come in under such immense pressure, essentially marshalling that midfield just in front of the back line when Beth Mead moves forward. She's looked really calm coming on.
So throw to England on the far side. A reminder, lines open for 6:06. Of course, coming at the conclusion of this game, so slightly delayed, but the lines are open. Book your call now and speak to Tony Duggan and Natalie Pike. 08085 909 693. Could you be celebrating a historic night for the Lionesses? Could they reach their 6th major tournament semi-final in a row as they look to defend this European crown, as Lauren James is penalised for a foul just outside the Sweden penalty area? And Sweden have a free kick, and it so often seems, doesn't it, Karen, that when we get to extra time it all becomes a bit scrappy because the nerves just start building.
No, you just have to make sure you see the game out, isn't it? You know, both teams just want to make sure they're not going to concede any opportunities in front of goal. They just want to waste time at times to make sure they get to the penalties, especially if you're a team that back yourself.
A little bit of space. Referee's fallen over again. That's the second time that's happened. Sweden attack breaks down. Hannah Hampton clears out to the left-hand side, but nobody is there. And it will be a throw to Sweden over on the far side, which Milla Holmberg will take. Holmberg, who made a fabulous goal-saving, keeping Sweden in the competition block in the dying seconds of normal time to deny Alessia Russo, to deny England for now a place in the semi-finals. As Adjimang goes in on Eriksson, but that is allowed to go, and England could be off and away here. Russo and Angeldal tumble together, and the referee has given that decision against Alessia Russo, and Sweden have a free kick just outside the centre circle. Now the referee is coming over to the 4th official and has tossed something. I think maybe part of her equipment possibly came a bit loose there when she fell over, so that's off the field of play. And Sweden have a free kick. And Karen Bardsley,
and the referee is just getting in the way. She's fallen over a few times. Grace Clinton's just eye on the ball, smashed straight into the referee. And you know, that foul, for me that wasn't a foul on Alessia Russo. It's two people coming together.
Long ball forward from Eriksson. It's cleared away by England. Then Russo heads it back to Janegi inexplicably on the edge of the area. It's Janegi. It's good footwork. She goes for the curler, deflected away. Comes out to this left-hand side, and Nilden chips the ball across. Really good defending at the back there by Niamh Charles. It goes behind for a Sweden corner. Lena Hurtig was in there. Hurtig, who's looking to score for the 3rd game running off the bench, but Charles just did enough. She went with her. She put her off, and Sweden have a corner, when if Charles hadn't done that and got that block in, Sweden would have taken the lead in extra time. That's really good from Niamh Charles. She recognised she's not going to win that header, and she manages to get round goal side and fortunately just deflect that wide. 10 minutes of extra time to play, but Sweden in the ascendancy, 2-2. corner in from this left-hand side. England make first contact, not out of the area yet. Should be now with James, but they're so deep, England. The yellow shirts come forward again, swarming forward. Angledar's delivery in, Hampton comes, doesn't get there. Sweden can't make clean contact. Kinsey gets something on it, comes to the edge of the area as Sweden keep it alive. Nilden sends it back in, so many yellow shirts in there, pinball in the area, and England just get it to the edge of the box, and then the flag is up on the far side, and it will be a free kick to England inside their own penalty area. Oh, Karen Bardsley, that was harum-scarum.
I've never seen fans clap their hands so fast. Like, the families are just down here in front of us and they're just clapping wildly to the relief of the referee's whistle. But sometimes you just really need to put your foot through it and play your lines when you get the opportunity. But it's under the cosh, ball into the area, dodgy headers going all over the place.
The tension inside this stadium, you can almost taste it. I'm almost forgetting to breathe. I will keep doing so. But Sweden come forward once again down the left-hand side. 9 minutes of extra time to play. It's 2-2 in the Women's Euros quarter-finals between Sweden and England. England, the defending European champions. They thumped Sweden 4-0 in the semis 3 years ago. This has been a very different story indeed as Bjorn plays it forward. Lucy Bronze will chest it calmly back to Hannah Hampton, who claims inside her own penalty area.
That's experience for you, isn't it? She recognised that, I think Stina Blackstenius was offside. She was trying to get back onside, and Lucy recognised that really quickly and calmly just chested that back for Hannah Hampton to just kind of take any sort of sting out of the Swedish possession.
Here is Chloe Kelly on the left-hand side. A couple of ricochets. Ball goes out for a Sweden throw. They need to wait through their own half as Leah Williamson, who's been substituted with that knock, watches on. Nothing else she can do, the England captain, to try and help her team over the line to get into the semi-final. 8 minutes of extra time to play here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. It's England 2, Sweden 2 in the Women's Euros quarter-finals. We are 8 minutes away from a penalty shootout. England faced one in the last 16 of the World Cup in 2023. That's their last one at a major tournament. Also beat Brazil on penalties in the Finalissima at Wembley that very same year. Sweden have had mixed fortunes at major tournaments with penalty shootouts in recent years. Zadjiman closes down Falk, but now we just see Falk really taking the time. Is this a case of, I don't know if it is playing for penalty, but just making sure you don't make a mistake in these crucial final moments of extra time?
No, exactly. It's trying to be predictable, isn't it? Give yourself the best opportunity to essentially gain territory, isn't it? You know, try to get yourself in the best possible situation to try to either get Blackstenius in behind from a Sweden perspective. But yeah, I think for me it's about just staying in control, staying on top with momentum, etc.
Lucy Bronze with the throw, right in front of Serena Wiegmann. Wiegmann, who has only lost to the USA, Spain and France at major tournaments. She's never lost to Sweden in her career as a manager. For so long in this game, her England side were outplayed and out-tacticked, but the substitutions have changed things. England clawed it back late on, 2-0 down, they made it 2-2. As that ball goes all the way through to Hannah Hampton. 6 minutes of extra time to play, 6 minutes until penalties. Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, there's some tired legs out there, but you know, Michelle Adjiman as well, she's been absolutely sprinting up and down, trying to drop this Swedish back line off, trying to support where she can, press from behind. It's hard to believe she's as young as she is. She's been quite an addition to this Lioness squad.
Yeah, she's the youngest player in the squad at 19 years of age, and it is she who got the equaliser with 9 minutes to play. Now, Sweden prepared to make their final change, and this will be all about penalties. It is Rebecca Blomqvist who is preparing to come on. But there is still time for either side to get a winner. Good work by Blackstenius, well blocked away by Greenwood. She's out of position now as Charles races to cover over on that left-hand side. Sweden coming down the right. Danger here for England, ball into the area, it's blocked away by Charles. It's a Sweden corner, and they are so strong from set pieces.
Jakobsen, she's quick, isn't she? She nearly managed to get round Niamh Charles, but manages to get a good block in there. But again, really need this concentration from England. they're so deep in the area. Again, Sweden really, really loading around Hannah Hampton, but there's 3 players just at the edge of the area.
Yeah, the furthest player out is Lauren James. She is 7 yards away from the goal. There is no outlet. Sweden have yellow shirts around the area as well with Holmberg, but most of them packing that 6-yard area. As the corner is swung in, it's all the way across, almost off the line at the far post, and the whistle's gone for a free kick to England. Players down inside the 6-yard box. One of them's Eriksson, the other is Greenwood. Greenwood's holding her shoulder. Hampton was down as well. Again, more nervy moments inside the England box, but they survive, and it's still 2-2.
Again, so many bodies, and the determination there from the Lionesses to try to keep that from danger. It looks like Hannah Hampton might just connect with Alex Greenwood. Perhaps there's a bit of contact with the face, but it looks like Alex Greenwood is holding her shoulder.
So Rebecca Blomqvist is coming on, and Stina Blackstenius is coming off. So Blackstenius will not take part in the penalty shootout. It was she who gave Sweden a 2-goal lead midway through the first half, as Greenwood continues to receive treatment, and some treatment for Hannah Hampton as well. I mean, that's not good, is it, to take a blow if you're a goalkeeper just before a potential penalty shootout?
No, it looks to me like, is it her nose? Might be a bloody nose or something like that, but all the England players are looking to get some treatment right now. There's some really tired legs. As Lucy Bronze is actually on the floor wrapping up what looks like her hamstring or her quad. But this is it, you know, your tournament is literally on the line, so you have to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, so Bronze is wrapping that white bandage around her upper thigh. Hampton is still receiving a bit of treatment. I think there's potentially a gel that Hampton's going to have as well, so possibly this is also about a bit of an energy boost. Sweden's players are all in a circle right next to the centre circle. Jennifer Falk, their goalkeeper, has come up as well, and the likes of Lauren James and Beth Mead, Michelle Adjimang and Grace Clinton coming to speak to the England medical staff on the sidelines. But what a game it's been. England for so long in this match looked down and out. It was a limp performance for so long in this game from the Lionesses. It looked as though they were ending the defence of their European crown with a whimper rather than a roar. But they found their bite in the final 12 minutes or so. 2 quick-fire goals late on. It's taken us to this period of extra time, which, as we expected, Karen, has been tight, has been tense. And really, it looks now, unless there is to be a late charge, some late heroics from someone, it's going to be that P word.
Yeah, no, it's been really, really drama-filled, hasn't it? It's been quite the epic. And as you can see there, you know, Hannah Hampton clearly has taken a hit to the face. Had to change her shirt. She's got a bloody nose, as the doctor and the physio there were treating her at the moment in time. And you know, it's all about getting everything right for essentially the inevitable, isn't it?
Yep, she's been patched up, Hannah Hampton. She's being helped to put those grey and pink tipped gloves back on. And she will hope very shortly that they will be called into action, because we are heading for penalties. 1 minute of extra time plus added time to play. There will be a few minutes added time because of that injury stoppage. So Sweden pick up the ball again on halfway. Forward they go. It's a poor ball. Will it be reached by Blomqvist? Oh, she busted up to get there, the substitute, but won't be able to reach it, and goes out of play. And Lucy Barnes will pick this up for a throw deep in England territory, and she's asking the white shirts to come towards her. They don't want to lose possession here, England, because that could be lethal. Bronze with the long throw. She launches it downfield. Jotti wins the header, but it will be ushered out of play, and indeed the whistle has gone, and it is a free kick. Or which way is that free kick gone? It looks as though it's gone to Sweden. Wow. It looked as though they were just going to shepherd that ball out of play, and they did, but the referee pulled it back for something.
Yeah.
So that is, well, we'll have to see a replay, but no real protest from the England players. But this has given Sweden a great opportunity.
Well, the referee gestured as though it was some sort of shirt or shoulder pull.
Could this be crucially costly for England? It's Angledar's delivery. She swings it in right-footed. Hampton comes and gets something on it to the edge of the area as we enter 3 minutes of added time at the end of extra time. James under pressure goes down, loses it to Angledown. Yanagi overruns it though, and it's cleared away. But England under pressure in these final stages of extra time. Right now, Sweden look the likeliest to score, but maybe not. Beth Mead charges this ball down. She then gets a big shove from Nilden, and then Nilden shoves her over, and that is going to be a clear free kick to England. And Nilden might possibly get a yellow card here. She's arguing with the assistant on this near side as well. Well, the referee's got the spray out rather than the yellow card. I think Nilden, Tottenham is going to get away with that.
Brilliant from Beth Mead, though. She knew she was by herself. All she had to do was just try to keep possession. Now you're just either playing for an opportunity like this or trying to just see the timeout to get to the penalties. And who else is over the ball other than Chloe Kelly? What an impact she's had since she's come on. Let's hope she can work some of that magic.
She's been instrumental in the 2 goals England scored in normal time. She chips this free kicking from the right-hand side. It goes past everybody, and then the snapshot on the angle on the far side from Russo trickles wide of that near post. And we have less than 2 minutes of added time at the end of extra time to play. It's England 2, Sweden 2 in the Women's Euros quarterfinals.
Oh, and Alessia Russo found herself at the back stick, and she just hurried that shot. She just kind of snatched at it, and it just went wide. And, you know, will she be ruining that opportunity she had earlier in the game when she had Chloe Kelly on her left and went for the shot that was well blocked by the Swedish defender?
Yeah, that was the other side of things, as Yanogi catches Bronze with the boot there. I mean, that is Bronze being so brave and diving in with her head where others would lead with their feet. Yanogi's boot wasn't really that high. I mean, she's just raised it, but Bronze is diving so low. But it is a foul. It's clearly a foul, but it just shows the bravery of Lucy Bronze, doesn't it?
No, I think Yanogi, it's a bit higher than it probably should be. But yeah, I think Lucy Bronze, look, she's a born competitor, a winner. She just wants this so bad. And you can see there's Hannah Hampton over the ball. She's got a cannon for her right foot, so I wouldn't be surprised. Let's hope she gets an assist, because what a story that would be.
So Hampton, though, is just inside the Swedish half. If England lose possession from this, Hampton's going to have to sprint to get back. So Hampton sends it long towards the edge of the penalty area. Greenwood's in there, bounces past her. Charles will pick it up on this right-hand side. Can she get a corner for England? No, she loses possession, but she does win a throw. Deep in Sweden territory, 25 seconds of added time and extra time to play. It's now or never for England. We're heading to penalties. Chloe Kelly plays it back to Greenwood. Right-hand side, swings it in left-footed. Adjumang's in there. Foul comes. Russo chips it back towards goal and scoops it wide. And the whistle didn't go, even though Falk was down. That is a chance for England, and Russo rushed it.
Oh, this is tense, isn't it? Yeah, again, snatching at these opportunities. This is what's on the line. This is what it means. But these goalkeepers have been in the wars tonight.
And what is on the line now is a penalty shootout, because we end extra time in this Women's Euros quarter-final level 2-2 between England and Sweden. And once again, as it was for the Lionesses in the last 16 of the World Cup 2 years ago, as it was in the Finalissima against Brazil in that same year, 2023, we go to penalties for a place in the semi-finals of Euro 2025. It finishes 2-2 here in Zurich.
Massive chances, both just at the end of full-time, normal time, Karen, and extra time there for Alessia Russo. She just couldn't quite put it away, as you said. Looked a little rushed. I wonder if penalties for these players are already on the mind at that point.
Like I said, I think you have to just be in the moment, and you know, it's so difficult when you want something so badly. The emotion of that moment, you know, just influences your decision making sometimes. You just snatch at it because you're so desperate to try to make something happen. But ultimately, what a comeback from the Lionesses to be able to react in the way that they did. They genuinely felt like they were down and out, but to be able to turn it around, the substitutions, the impact of Chloe Kelly, you know, Lucy Bronze just absolutely busting a gut to get forward to that back post, that header, and the composure from Michelle Adjumang as well to be able to just make sure that that ball finds its way into the goal. I mean, it's been quite a reaction from England, but, you know, it's not been an easy feat, and England certainly haven't made it easy for themselves.
Well, England's outfield players are in a very, very tight huddle just near their technical area at the moment. Serena Wiegmann in the middle talking to them, while Hannah Hampton stands on the outside of the circle with 3 coaches around her. She's having her gloves put back on again. She's got a piece of bloody tissue, Karen, stuffed up one nostril from that whack she took late on in the second half of extra time there. Could that impact her coming into the shootout?
Well, I mean, I think it's certainly something that she wishes wasn't up her nose. I mean, it would be a distraction, certainly, but I think, listen, from a goalkeeper's perspective, this is such a fun situation to find yourself in, because there's zero pressure.
Fun?
No, honestly, there's zero pressure. I know everyone's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? But like, there's zero pressure on a goalkeeper in these types of situations. It's all on the penalty taker. So how can you influence them? Your body language, your positioning. You can see her talking to Wardy, the goalkeeper coach, at this moment in time. They would have practiced this. They would have studied all of the penalties.
And that cheer going up from our right-hand side, because it looks as though the penalties will be taken, Vicky Sparks, in front of the England fans. And that has deflated a yellow balloon of supporters to our left, who have been fantastic. The Swedish fans waving their flags, jumping throughout. But the penalties are going to be over to our right-hand side, where the flags of St George are bobbing on this midnight breeze. We are coming up towards midnight local time, and we are about to enter the tensest period of this match. Has it been proper, England? Perhaps we're about to find out. The Lionesses did what didn't look possible, fought their way back into this game. It finished 2-2, and now we go the distance. A place in the semi-finals to be decided on spot kicks. To Karen Bardsley and Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Katie. Well, 41 years ago, Sweden and England met in a penalty shootout at the final of the very first Women's Euros. Sweden won that. Now, what can these Lionesses of 2025 do? They have won both penalty shootouts that they have participated in under Serena Wiegmann. The finalissima against Brazil and the round of 16 against Nigeria in the World Cup in 2023. It will be England to take the first penalty, and it will be Alessia Russo, who has been in such brilliant goal-scoring form this season. The main woman up top these days for the Lionesses. She will take the first spot kick up against Jennifer Falk. So we begin. A place in the semi-finals at stake. It's Russo to take this first penalty for England. And Russo hits the bottom corner. Falk went the right way, but it's a brilliant spot kick from Alessia Russo.
She's hit that with some real authority, some real belief, and it's into the side netting, and I'm sorry, Jennifer Falk, you've got no chance.
A big clenched fist from Serena Wiegmann as Alessia Russo is congratulated by her teammates. And Jennifer Falk will now pass the ball to Filippa Angeldal of Sweden, who places the ball on the spot. The former Manchester City player just making sure it's exactly where she wants it. Hannah Hampton beating her white gloves together in the England goal. It's Angeldal, and Hampton saves! It's advantage England in the penalty shootout, and Hannah Hampton, under so much scrutiny coming into this tournament, who's pulled up some big saves in this game, pulls off the biggest one of the night so far.
Oh, and it's huge for Hannah Hampton. Filippa Angeldal rushed that approach. She didn't waste any time. She just, as soon as the whistle went, bang, took the strike. And it looks to me like Hannah Hampton knew from before Angeldal even took the strike that she knew exactly where she was going. She dove with real authority. What a save.
So one penalty apiece. England leads in the shootout. It's Lauren James now who steps up, and it's saved by Jennifer Falk. It was casual from James. She tried to place it, but she didn't get it far enough into the corner. Nice height for Falk, and that advantage for England is gone.
There's a really short approach from Lauren James as well. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, maybe, Vicky. It's just a bit too casual, and Jennifer Falk was on her way before Lauren James even struck it.
So a save for Falk, a save for Hampton. England still ahead in the shootout, but Sweden have taken one penalty fewer. And it will be Julia Zigotti who steps up now for Sweden. Up against Tanner Hampton, who saved once. It's Zigotti. It's a brilliant penalty, top left-hand corner. And Karen Barsley, no goalkeeper in the world, is saving that.
Holy smokes, what a penalty. She struck that with some confidence. Looks like it's nearly gone top bins to Hannah Hampton's right, straight for the camera. Hopefully the BBC we can claim that one back on the insurance.
Yeah, it's taken the camera out. It's nearly taken the nets out as well. So 1-1, 2 penalties apiece as Beth Mead places the ball on the spot for England. Up against Falk. It's Mead. And Falk saves again! And now it is advantage Sweden. They've got to score this third penalty, but if they do, they'll take the lead in this penalty shootout. And it is all going wrong for England's golden girl of the Euros 3 years ago.
Oh, and it looks like Jennifer Falk's done her homework. She's certainly researched these penalties, and Beth Mead will be really disappointed. Didn't quite put in enough in the corner and perhaps telegraphed that one.
So we are still level in the shootout as Magdalena Eriksson steps up, the former Chelsea captain, to give Sweden the advantage. She's up against Tanner Hampton. It's Eriksson. It hits the post! And we're still level. And England are still hanging on at these Women's Euros. Eriksson hits the post.
And what relief, I think, from every England supporter in this entire stadium. I think Hannah Hampton willed that to hit the post, and thank goodness for us it did.
Well, I wonder if Sweden are having flashbacks of the Olympic final 4 years ago when so many players missed. What an opportunity now for Alex Greenwood to really put the pressure on. She is a set-piece specialist. She's done this so many times in her career, but the pressure is on now. It's Greenwood and Falk saves! It was straight down the middle, and England have missed 3 of their 4 penalties, and they are handing the advantage back to Sweden.
And Falk didn't really have to do all that much. I think Alex Greenwood was probably hoping that Falk would go the other direction, but it's very, very central, a very nice height. Perhaps she just rushed that a little bit too much.
Well, it's been such a talking point with England's men, hasn't it? Take your time, get yourself set. If Sweden score this penalty, England must score the next spot kick. Hannah Hampton on her goal line, but it's a brilliant penalty by Natalie Bjorn. And the pressure now is all on England. They have to score this penalty, or the defending European champions are out. And who else but Chloe Kelly walks forward? She scored the winning penalty in the shootout in the Finalissima against Brazil. She scored the winning penalty in the shootout in the last 16 of the World Cup against Nigeria. She has to score here or England are out.
Jennifer Falk's looking very carefully at her water bottle that she's just taken a walk over to. They've got all the penalties. She would have had a look. How much focus. What pressure for Chloe Kelly.
So despite what their manager Peter Hardson said, they did prepare them. Here's Chloe Kelly. It's a long run up. She's got to score or England are going home. Here's the skip and the jump, and she does score. Really good penalty from Chloe Kelly. You can always rely on her in these big moments, and now the big moment is Hannah Hampton's. Lucy Bronze is waving her arms on the halfway line, cheering up the England fans inside the stadium here, because still Sweden have the advantage. If they score, they're through to the semi-finals.
Huge, huge character building moment there for Chloe Kelly. She was absolutely clutch. And now it's Hannah Hampton's turn as Jennifer Falk. Goalkeeper face-off.
Here we go. This is the story that Sweden are dreaming of writing. Their goalkeeper, Jennifer Falk, steps up to send them into the semi-finals unless Hannah Hampton can stop her. It's Falk. Oh, it's over the bar! She's blazed it over! Remarkable! Sweden are stunned! And we keep going in this penalty shootout. Karen Bardsley.
Why on earth? Why, if you're Peter Johansson, I can't imagine that was the plan. I can't imagine that she was meant to be the fifth penalty taker, looking at the quality on this Sweden team.
England are clinging on, and we're into sudden death. It's Grace Clinton, it's Falcon, Falk saves, comes off her line, and it's another missed penalty for England after Kelly's heroics. And Falk's miss, she redeems herself, and it's another poor penalty from a player who was brought on in this game with penalties in mind. And again, Sweden are a spot kick away from the semi-final.
It's unbelievable from Jennifer Falk to miss and absolutely sky that penalty, to be able to react and make a save in such a manner. It was a poor penalty, unfortunately, from Grace Clinton. But yeah, this is tight. What tension.
So Sofia Jakobsen with the chance to put Sweden into the last four. Oh, Hampton studs it onto the post! I don't believe this! We are still level in this penalty shootout, and somehow, England are clinging on!
What a save from Hannah Hampton. Full extension, bottom hand, tips it onto the post. That is unbelievable. This is what I was saying earlier. As a goalkeeper, you live for this stuff.
Honestly, listeners, anything could happen from here. I feel like everything already has. Lucy Bronze, the latest to step forward as we enter the 7th round of penalties. We're in sudden death, 2-2 after extra time. It's Lucy Bronze to give England the advantage in the penalty shootout. Bronze against Falk. Oh, it's brilliant! Smashes it down the middle into the roof of the net, and she roars at the England fans behind the goal. She slams the ball down into the grass in the penalty area, and now Sweden have to score or England are in the last four.
Boom, that was proper England. That she hit it straight down the middle with some power, some belief. That was amazing from Lucy Bronze.
Hannah Hampton, what have you got in you? Sweden must score this penalty as England's players congratulate Bronze. What can you do, Hannah Hampton? Oh, it's over the bar! And England are through to the semi-finals. It's skied by Smilla Holmberg, and the Lionesses have done it. Somehow they have done it. They looked down and out in normal time, but they found 2 late goals to take it to extra time, and we ended up at a penalty shootout. There were misses, there were saves, but in the end, England have found a way, and the defending European champions do what no side has ever done at the Women's Euros. From a 2-goal deficit, they recover to win a knockout stage match, and they are through somehow to the semi-finals.
Sweet baby Jesus, that was amazing. Honestly, that was incredible. Such tension from like the way that England obviously started that game going down, and like the response to come back, the substitutions, the doubt that we had, the game plan, the manager. There's so much drama. The saves from Hannah Hampton, the authority from Lucy Bronze. What a fantastic game, and such character that England showed. Such self-belief to pull themselves back into this game. I'm over the moon. I'm absolutely, my heart is racing.
It is one of the greatest results in Serena Wiegmann's managerial career, and it is one of the greatest escaping what looked like certain elimination from these players. When it mattered, they came up, as they have said so many times in this tournament. Proper English, And are they building something in the women's game when it comes to penalty shootouts? No heartache tonight for England on penalties. They're through to the semi-finals where they will face Italy.
We are coming to you from Stadion Letzigren on 5 Live and BBC Sounds in Zurich as England beats Sweden on penalties to make it into the semi-finals of the Women's Euros by the barest of margins, by the skin of their teeth. Sweet Caroline, all around this stadium, white flags and shirts, St George's crosses are bobbing. Everywhere, arms are raised, and the players cannot believe it as they finally are collected by the coaches, by Serena Wiegmann, into the centre of the pitch to try and reflect on what just happened. With us, our commentator Vicky Sparks, former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley, and joining us from back in England as well, former skipper Steph Houghton, who has her head in her hands. Steph, what have we just seen?
Wow, that is a game full of so many emotions. I'm absolutely sweating here watching the penalties. I don't know what you guys are like there, but ultimately a massive win for England to come back and to take it to extra time. And the penalties, I mean, Hannah Hampton had a great game, saved us in the first half, but yeah, oh my God, the girls are going to go to the final. I've told you this before.
Steph, I'm having kittens. I just can't.
I thought you would be, KB.
Honestly, it was unbelievable. Like the waves of emotion that I went through over the course of that game. I was genuinely shocked at the first half performance. Couldn't believe what was happening in front of my own eyes. I thought it was all unraveling, and just to see the way that the girls reacted, I almost feel bad for ever doubting them. You know, the substitutions, the self-belief, you know, the impact that Chloe Kelly had. It was just unbelievable.
I'm calling it, Steph, Karen. That was proper English. If we're redefining what proper English means, coming from 2 goals down, taking it to extra time, almost winning it but then missing it, going to a penalty shootout, almost losing it and then winning it. How? I have no words.
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest, watching that the penalties need some work. Let's just we'll keep it there. We won't go into any
Should
more
we
depth.
start with the positives?
Yeah.
We like to do things the hard way, don't we?
We said this, didn't we, Steph?
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? Hannah Hampton said it to us on 5 Live, Steph, only a couple of days ago. She said that is part of proper England, is we make you work for it. We work for it. We test everything you've got, every shred of nerves. But what a magnificent performance from England's number 1 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think especially in that first half, it could have been potentially 4-0 Sweden, but Hannah Hampton made 2 crucial saves, one just before half-time. And I honestly think if it was 3-0 going into that half-time, I really think that we would have struggled to come back. But once you get 1 goal back, when you're losing 2-0, the momentum shifts in your direction. I think KB's got it spot on, I think, with the changes that Serena made. Chloe Kelly coming in, putting in 2 world-class deliveries, and that is what the bench is there for, to change a game. And a special shout out to Agyman. I thought she was brilliant. I thought she brought a different dimension to us, and Sweden's centre halves had a quite comfy game with just Mark and Alessia Russo, but she came on and made a difference. And oh my God, I feel like I've just played, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, it's like I'm apoplectic. Well, I was several times throughout the course of that game, but I think this is, you know, I think Chloe Kelly made something, didn't she, about the fact that subs can come on and make an impact, and the article that I read, you know, around her interview, and the positive clicks, and just how important having that massive squad and the belief, and, you know, just the impact that they can make coming off the bench, and how every single player in this team is so important. I'm genuinely gobsmacked. I just can't find the words.
Well, Hannah Hampton's being shepherded over by England's media team to, I think, probably do all of the interviews tonight. But Karen, I want to take you back to the moment before the penalty shootout started, as Freed from Desire starts playing, and all the players have come over to us in front of their friends and family. I'm surprised they have energy left, and no surprise that is Lucy Bronze leading, dancing out on the pitch. We'll get to her in a moment, but you said before the penalty shootout, when I asked you what Hannah Hampton would be thinking, you said, this is the best bit, no pressure, this is fun. She had a bloody nose from a whack she'd taken about 5 minutes earlier, but she looked like she enjoyed it. The composure was magnificent.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you prepare for as a keeper, you know, like genuinely all the pressure is on the taker, you know, and that's why one of the reasons I was so surprised that Jennifer Falk actually took one, you know, because you go into these preparations, you got, you know, maybe a 50-50 or a 33% chance if you go down the middle, but you just want to make saves. And when I spoke to Hannah Hampton before the tournament, she just said she wanted to let the football do the talking. She couldn't wait to get out here, and she's done that tonight in bucket loads.
Well, we've made Vicky Sparks do a lot of talking tonight. She's been recovering. I've seen you downing water bottles over there. Vicky, did you want to try and give us, if you can, briefly, a story of the match?
Yeah, can I just say a behind the scenes look? About 5 minutes ago, Katie minded me, story of the game? Oh, I'll give you 2 minutes. Story of the game, it was bonkers. There you go. Well, honestly, I'm watching the scenes here where we're seeing the England players now doing a lap of honour. Karen Barsley celebrating, pumping her fist in the air to my right, and all the England fans are waving their flags. What a remarkable match, and honestly I think this goes down as one of the greatest performances under Sarina Wiegman, in terms of the fact that it for so long was one of the worst performances under Sarina Wiegman. England were terrible, they were so limp, it looked as though they were going to exit with barely a whimper, as Lani scoring that early goal for Sweden inside 2 minutes, Blackstenius adding to it midway through the first half, and as Steph Horton said, you know, Hannah Hampton making some really key saves, Blackstenius with a big chance at the start of the second half, and it looked as though England were down and out, but then those 2 goals later on, 103 seconds between them. Lucy Bronze first, Michelle Adjumang off the bench for the second, but that key woman Chloe Kelly as well, that substitute really working for Sarina Wiegman, as did Adjumang. We go to extra time, no goals, and then just going through the penalties now, England win 3-2 on penalties, but 4 players missed, and I'm looking as we go through the penalty shootout. Kelly had to score, she did score. England could have gone out then, they were a spot kick away. If Falk had scored, they would have been out, but the goalkeeper smashed it over the bar. Then Clinton misses, so then Jakobsen, if she scores, England are out. Then Bronze scores, then Holmberg misses the final penalty. I cannot believe that England, with so much adversity, have made it through, and this will just give them every single bit of belief going forward.
But I would say to that then, Steph, if we are talking proper England, was tonight not surely proper Lucy Bronze? She was the one who kick-started the comeback with that goal. We'd been saying she hadn't scored yet in the tournament. There she goes, she's the one with all the belief, riling up everyone on the pitch, saying give me more. Scored that penalty as well, was putting in diving challenges with, you know, minutes to go, where a foot would have done, but she went head.
She did go ahead and she scored, so that's all that matters. But honestly, I think for me, Lucy, she was just so forward thinking, and she dragged the team throughout that whole game. And I think even just putting in tackles, getting forward, probably out of positions on some occasions, but I think when you see that goal, that headed goal, she does that time and time again in big moments. She's a big player, and she steps up again, and obviously our penalty was probably one of the best, to be honest, and probably at the right time for someone with her experience to take that pen.
She looked absolutely delighted as well, Karen, scoring that.
No, I mean, I was absolutely thrilled for her, because it could have gone the other way. And speaking of going the other way, in the first half, it just looked like it wasn't coming off. You know, like we were really trying to force play down that right-hand side. Sweden had all the answers, didn't they? But she was so determined to make an impact, to drag the rest of the team into the game. And, you know, we've seen her do that time and time again. I can remember 2015 against Norway. She scored a massive goal. She did the same, obviously, in 22 against Sweden, you know, when England obviously won it. But she is just a phenomenal leader on and off the pitch, and the way she exudes that positive self-belief and confidence, the girls just eat it up.
The Swedish players, Steph, are over on the far side from where we are sat in our commentary position, just giving a round of applause to their supporters, who have been immaculate and such a fun part of the tournament at all the games that they've been at. What heartbreak they are going through. Can you describe that to us? Because for so much of the game, they were in control.
I think Sweden can kind of hold their heads up high, really. I think they give absolutely everything, and barring France, they have been one of the best teams in this tournament. I think they have really stuck to what their strengths are. They've had some unbelievable individual performance. I thought Philippa Angadal must have ran about 3 or 4 marathons, to be honest. Even at the end there, she's driving her team forward and goes really under the radar. But in Blackstenius as well, I think there's been so much talk about her responsibility and what she can bring, but she really led the line and caused just a lot of problems, especially in that first 60-70 minutes until the changes with Esme coming on. But I think that it's just a mad game. I can't believe we've actually come out and won, and this is just proper English and proper England.
Are we going with it?
I think we have to, don't we?
I think we went with it, didn't we? Right, before we hear any more, we've got Gary Flintoff down in the tunnel for us. We'll get live reaction as and when we can, but let's hear from one of England's heroines tonight, goalkeeper Hannah Hampton with BBC's Joe Curry.
What a comeback into the semi-finals. Where are your emotions at right now?
Right now, I don't know. I don't know. It just all's gone so quick, like that last little bit in the penalty shootout. But no, we're very happy. Obviously, you can see all the celebrations going around, cheering with the fans, and they were behind us the whole game. Even when we were 2-0 down, they knew that we could bring this back, and you don't ever write us off.
To watch, that was possibly one of the most stressful penalty shootouts this team has ever put us through. You were sensational. What was it like to play in?
Stressful, like you said, stressful watching, stressful playing, and I just thought every single time I saved one, I was thinking, please just put it in so we have a bit of a cushion, and their keeper just went and saved the next one. I was thinking, oh goodness, here we go. But you know, I think, to be honest, I think I was better in the game when I had one nostril than when I was completely fine. But no, just happy and relieved now.
I was going to ask, you had your big moment with what looked like a tampon up your nose. How is your nose?
It's fine, to be fair. Me and nosebleeds never go well. Me and the doctor have had some great history in the past with having to go to hospitals and stuff. So as soon as he came over and looked at my nosebleed, he was thinking, not again. But yeah, I'm better with one nostril now.
Well, it certainly worked for you. Just take a minute to take this all in, because could you feel the love from the England crowd tonight, you personally?
Yeah, I could tonight, especially in that shootout. They were cheering non-stop, and it just helps you. It helps you get that little bit of an edge over them and push you on, and I don't know, stretch a little extra for each dive and put a lot more power in. But no, they were definitely behind me, and I really appreciated all the support.
Hannah, you were fantastic the entire game. Well done. Go and enjoy this moment. You've earned it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Out of interest, KB, have you ever done a penalty shootout with a tampon up your nose?
Can't say that I have, no. Fortunately, I never had to experience that, but hey, winning in such a manner, I would do anything with up my nose, I suppose, to win in that way.
I'm sure that's going to be an advert soon.
Get that on a poster. But, sorry,
I was just going to say, it's almost the reverse of the Gareth Southgate advert, isn't it? When he missed the penalty at 96 and then ended up doing the advert for the pizza with the bag over his head. And then actually Hannah Hampton could now do one with saving the goals.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Flipping that around though, Steph, it was a strange experience watching a penalty shootout where I don't know about you, but I felt as it went on and England kept missing, I had more confidence in what Hannah Hampton was doing as opposed to the sort of, what would you call it, the impetus being with the striker.
Yeah, I think KB probably knows more than me in the sense of she's a keeper. You've probably got a little bit more leeway in the sense of
have I asked the wrong person here?
I think you definitely have. But I think
I was more thinking from the perspective of watching it and where you think those nerves or what went wrong for England from the shooting side.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really talk. I missed the penalty in the semi-final of a World Cup, but you know what it is. I think sometimes the keeper missing is big, and I think as an England player and as an England goalkeeper, you should have so much more confidence coming from that. But I mean, the penalties weren't the greatest, if I'm being honest. I think you look at the penalty shootout, the quality wasn't great, but I think you've got to give credit to Hannah Hampton.
Steph, I'm just going to stop you there. Gary Flintoff down in the tunnel for us.
Thank you, Katie. Michelle Adjeman is here with a great smile on her face. I mean, dramatic, I'm not entirely sure I've seen a penalty shootout like that before in my entire lifetime.
Neither. I don't think I've been part of many, obviously, because being so young, but, it's a great experience, and the girls pulled it through at the end. Grateful for everyone that's taken a penalty, for Hannah, for them fantastic saves, and just happy to be through to the next round.
I mean, Sweden asked a lot of questions of you tonight. You were one of the players sent on to change things. What were the instructions from Sarina Wiegman?
I think being 2-0 down, we need to go and chase a goal. That's the most important thing. You can't go and change a game without getting the goal. So I think that was the most important message before we went on, to go and change the game, go and put them on the back foot, and I think that's what we did.
Now, you scored an absolutely crucial goal. It was the equaliser. It ensured the game went into extra time. Talk me through it. What can you actually remember of it?
Not much. Just I think when I got in front of the keeper, it was so close, I thought I was going to miss. But, thank God it went through her legs and it went in. And, it was a crucial moment in the game, like you were saying. They were under so much pressure, and sometimes it's hard to convert those into goals. But we did what we did, and we're here now today. So, can't be happier.
Was it a game you've enjoyed, or was it a game you've endured?
Both. I think those games kind of build your character as a player. It was great to be a part of, and I'm grateful to have been on the pitch and shared that moment with the rest of my teammates. And, our fight, our resilience, our character was shown today.
Well, you more than played your part today. Well done, congratulations, and enjoy tonight.
Thank you so much.
Michelle Adjaman there with Gary Flintoff after that crucial equaliser. Steph Houghton coming on. She didn't have to take a penalty, but the way she's been performing, those cameo minutes we saw against France, what she did tonight, you probably wouldn't bet against her knocking one in for England as well from the spot.
To be honest, I was thinking that she was going to be the next one, if just being a forward with that striker's instinct. But honestly, for someone in her first tournament for England, I think she should be really proud of the contribution that she's made. I think especially in that France game, she caused problems. But tonight especially, she came on and did the job that I'm presuming that Serena's told her to, in terms of you just don't let the centre-half settle, you rough them up a little bit, you use your body. And I think she got a yellow card as well. And I think that's someone that just comes on with no fear and just has nothing to lose, and she really did prove the difference. In that goal, you've got to be on your toes, you've got to be ready for that knockdown, and she was in the right place at the right time.
Does it change anything, Karen, perhaps going forward for Sarina Wiegman when they face Italy? Do you stick to up front? Is she still a wild-card substitute?
I think it's certainly something that Sarina needs to consider, isn't it? But I think, the physical profile that Michelle has, like what Steph said, was something that the game was crying out for. For me, when I was watching that, I thought the back line for Sweden just looked so comfortable. They rarely had any sort of threat. They weren't getting really worked out of position. They just looked like it was easy. So, obviously you've got the likes of Aggie Beaver-Jones that has a lot of mobility as well, but just the sheer threat of someone being able to win those headers, being able to be up against that back line, the delivery. I still don't think it's going to be something that Sarina would set out to do, because the element of surprise is something that I think plays really well in England's favour.
But on that, have England become too predictable? Because we can't ignore...
I don't disagree with you.
That, the first sort of 80% of the match was quite a difficult watch. And part of that perhaps is because Sweden knew exactly what was coming.
Yeah, no, I agree with you entirely. I think, that's why I felt so disappointed, really, with the first half performance in particular. It was what Sweden did was not a surprise at all. The way they transitioned, the way what Stina Blackstenius got in behind, and I think, the way that they tried to build through the midfield with Kira essentially being that solo, midfield link, if you will, that deep-lying playmaker. She was just getting marked out of the game, and so I think we need to just look at ways of having an extra pass in midfield, like what LJ started to do, come a bit deeper, like what Ella Toon and Georgia Stanway started to do. But it was the substitutions ultimately that made the biggest impact, and then obviously a bit of change in formation as well.
I think it's going to be fascinating to hear Sarina Wiegman's thoughts on this, because it's one thing being able to change it masterfully from the bench as she has done tonight. It's another to say the margins were so fine that England just had enough time to do that. And it's another thing to say to a manager who is so keen on plan A once she's worked it out, what do you do now for the semi-final? Do you look at this and go, actually, I've not got it right for the starting lineup against Sweden and against France in the opener, and Italy's a different test. Italy is a different test. So I'm not saying necessarily, you've got to change everything for that game. But she as a manager is a manager who loves consistency, and these game plans from the bench seem to work. Is that going to be enough to win this tournament, or does she need to find a better plan A to actually go all the way and win the Euros from the start? Because they lost against France. Yes, it was only the group stages and they recovered. They were lucky against Sweden in many ways tonight.
Right, Gary has got Chloe Kelly in the tunnel.
It's always a joy to speak to Chloe Kelly, but I'll tell you what, you went onto the pitch tonight with the look of a woman who was going on there to sort things out. Is that fair?
No, I was going on there to do my job and put balls in the box, and when I wear an England badge, you do anything to keep your country in the competition, and that's exactly what we did tonight. We worked so hard together as a team and we pulled through and we bounced back.
You created both goals, essentially. You also scored a very impressive penalty. How come Hannah Hampton's walked off with the Player of the Match award?
Because she's unbelievable. Did you see how she played tonight? She only needs one nostril to save the penalty.
You are forever someone who thinks positively, but tell me, what were you thinking sat at the side of the pitch at the first half performance, maybe in particular?
I think everyone was a little bit frustrated. Of course, we know we weren't at our best and the standards that we set ourselves at, but I think Sweden are a great side, so we have to give them respect and compliment them. They were at their best tonight and we had to match that, and I think we come unstuck a little bit, but we worked it out in the end, and I think that's what a great side does, and we showed as a team how resilient we are, and we've never really had that experience before, but now we've got it in our back pocket going forward as well, so it's really important that we use that.
I was going to say, did it feel a little bit like the Nigeria game at the World Cup in terms of just everything you were trying didn't really work on that night until eventually you got over the line at the end?
It didn't, to be fair. It didn't really feel like Nigeria performance because I think there were times in the game tonight where we felt like we were on the up as well. Obviously in the Nigeria game we had 10 men, so it was really tough. But tonight it felt like we just needed a little longer time. But the penalty shootout felt the same because I was bursting for a wee, so...
Well, you're in the semi-final.
Thank you, unreal.
Well done, congratulations.
Come on, England.
Thanks, Chloe.
Chloe Kelly there. Gary was getting all the confessions tonight. Wow, a remarkable and a ridiculous evening. England are into the Euros semi-finals after beating Sweden on penalties here in Zurich. Thanks so much to our commentary team at Vicky Sparks and former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley and former England captain Steph Houghton joining us as well. So much more reaction to come in the Football Daily podcast. We'll have that out for you later on BBC Sounds, and of course we're going to hear from the manager Sarina Wiegman in 606, which is coming up now with Natalie Pike and Tony Duggan. Do you have words?
Katie, I think I'm still catching my breath after all that, to be honest.
I'm handing over to you.
Tony and I just keep looking at each other going, what have we just watched, Tony?
My heart still pounds, and honestly I wouldn't have liked to step up for that penalty shootout, no way.
It was absolutely insane, and we'd love to speak to you right now. Tony and I would like to speak to you, England fans. How are you feeling? Did you ever doubt it? Give us a ring, 08085 909 693. Tony and I are going to be with you until midnight, so you need to get your calls in nice and quickly for us. But just quickly before that, before we take your calls, we're going to get some news and sport with Paul Saris.